I used to be able to scream so much higher. Now it's just kind of like, kind of high. That's all I got now. That's all I got now. Would you like to suck my ass? Where are you? And I'm so sorry. Can you tell it from San Diego? Sorry, get a little carried away. I'm already sweating, dude. Oh man, Weenie, what's up? What up with your jammies? Good to see you, Girthy. What up, homie? Good to see you. Hello. What up, fans? Good morning, everybody. Hi. What's your latest vid? Give me that sandwich. No. It ain't mine. It ain't gone. Next time you come down, Colin, we'll have to take you there. Take you to go see good old Ernie. Get you a monster. The coleslaw that guy makes, in my opinion, is hands down one of the best sweet coleslaws that I have ever had. Now, there's a lot
of people who say this dude does the best, but they don't know what the best tastes like. I'll be honest, I don't know what good coleslaw tastes like, right? Like if somebody were to put a bunch of coleslaws in front of me and say, hey, which one of these is the best? I wouldn't be able to tell you, because I'm just not well versed in the slaw. However, this man's coleslaw is like one of my top favorite. And it's a super, how you can get coleslaw that's like really big vegetables, more watery than creamy, right? So this coleslaw is super finely chopped everything. Very creamy on the sweet side. And it's just a wonderful compliment to a sandwich. And I never used to be a guy that liked coleslaw on sandwiches, but Ernie turned me into him. Squirt, it's good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Hellhound, what's good, man? Thank you for the sabers. Yo, Twitchy. What up, Aztec? Oh, shit, my chat's broke. I like your dream catcher. Thank you. Winnie actually made that for me. She made that by hand. Hi, kitty. Does that help? Can you see it any better? No, you can't. Fucking flashlight. Terrible. Terrible. Vance kept asking people to kiss him in fucking Call of Duty last night, and it was absolutely hilarious. Dude, can you just please kiss me? People aren't down for that, I guess, for some reason. So funny. Aztec, it's good to see you, man. Happy Saturday. Good morning. Welcome in. I'm not a huge fan of chopped slaw, but I will always try. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't, you know, if it came to like a barbecue sandwich, right? Pulled pork, I want long, stringy, crunchy, acidic slaw. But for these lovely meat sandwiches, yeah, definitely I like going for the fine and sweet and dandy. Sorry, I'm drinking seltzer water and it's getting me gassy. How are all of you doing? How's your Saturday so far? I don't know how long of a stream today is it's probably only gonna be like a couple hours. I really just want to dive into do a much deeper dive into the LoupeDeck and figure out what it's all about, because I feel like I did not get a good look at it whatsoever.
I will eat your ass.
Can I get a little of that glue, 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 glue?
Go for it! Come on! I'm ready! I have purchased so many tripods in my time. I really want to spend money on like a good tripod soon. Like a really good tripod and a really good head. Really want a good head. This one's pretty good, but they're all just like okay. Like anything under $100 is just okay. What up, Mr. 42? 44 months, you're no longer 42, you're a fraud. You are a goddamn fraud.
Get him out of here! He's no longer 42! How can you even be yourself if you're not even yourself? Get out!
Thanks, buddy. And yeah, like ball heads are a whole nother story. Like this stuff holds up well. And for the aspiring YouTuber, it all does a pretty good job. But yeah, I'd really like to get something really good. Spend like $200 to $300 on both tripod and head. But we're doing all right with what we got. What's up, Hijabi? Yo, we're eating ass. Don't you know? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Happy weekend. Lackluster leg gang in the building. You suck my ass, you're going to have to deal with the roids. You know what I'm saying? I think Chuck still has mine from when we moved. Oh, did you have like a super good tripod? Surprised how well that captures your eyes with the glasses on. Oh, you know what? That's actually a good point. I wonder what it does more.
I wonder if it tracks eyes? Or if it just tracks the whole face? Actually, this is only with one of my lights on, too. Where's my other light? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Pretty good. And, like, this is me getting farther and farther and farther and farther. Oh. It tracks pretty far. I mean, I can, like, I'm dancing around my room right now. It does pretty good. I mean, for being a free application with a $50 webcam, It's pretty good. I'm impressed. I was impressed.
I don't know why. Oh, I think I just wanted to get out of the frame. Yeah, I have so much mediocre photo equipment. And it all just holds up, but it makes you really desire some like really some nice, not the nicest stuff, but definitely some nicer stuff. Who played video games last night? You know, I'll tell you what. There was a long period of time. It might have even been like before COVID, where work was just killing me every day, and I would come home on Fridays, and I would just be a complete vegetable on the couch. Come home, sit on the couch, eat dinner. Literally, like, look at my phone or look at the TV for like 6 to 7 hours until we eventually like went to bed. And now it's like video games have become like a weekend ritual for me now, where it's like, okay, it's the weekend, it's time for video games. And that was lost for a long time. And I guess the reason that I'm sharing it is because there's probably some of you out there that have fallen in and out of video games, you know, and you just feel like, man, is this it? Is this me becoming an adult? You know, because you think of all of your pussy friends from high school that grew up, had a family with kids, got married, like all that lame shit, and you're thinking like, is this happening to me? But then you realize, oh no, they were just pussies because they gave up on all the things that they love because they thought they had to sacrifice it for the greater good of life. Don't you know we're in a simulation? Notice no quotes because it is a simulation. It's so crazy to me that like having video games in your life as an adult was seen as like a terrible thing, but a dedicated fridge in your garage that you call the man cave that you hide out from your family and just get plastered in seemed normal. Do you ever like look at the things you noticed growing up when you went to like your uncle's house or your aunt's house and you're like, you know what? My uncle is absolutely plastered every family gathering. Like every time I see him, he's drunk and he pisses himself and we all just laugh. But don't play video games if you're over 20. Bad. I'm so glad. Like, what if the people who thought that way also were millennials? Like, we also grew up with people. Well, I guess we technically did. Because you always have that friends that are like, oh, you stream on Twitch? Play video games? Like, yeah, motherfucker. And guess what? Who's the one judging who about their life choices? It's always such a weird conversation to have with people because you're sitting there talking about the things that you love and having a conversation with somebody else, and then somebody pipes up and they're like, you still play video games? Like, yeah. How many times have you watched The Office? 17? How many times can you consume that fucking TV show? And video games are a waste of time? Fuck you! You know what I'm saying? You guys, I'm bottling things up, as you can see. Yo, what up, Danny? Good to see you, buddy. Happy Saturday. Speaking of like the least lazy couple in the history of time, my buddy there, DP1C4. You're C4 because you're the bomb. Danny, even if you were to tell me that you're like, man, I've been so lazy this quarantine. Put on my quarantine pounds. I doubt it. I bet your quarantine pounds are like 15 pounds over your existing 17,000 pounds of muscle. Even if you guys told me that you've been lazy and you're just like, yeah, we don't really work out as much. Okay, what's less? You're working out 6 days a week instead of 9? The next generation is going to look at us like that. Do you think so? Okay, real talk. I bet there's going to be a massive group of people that are going to look at all the TikTokers and the YouTubers and the content creators, and what are they going to judge the next generation on? Is the next generation of people going to be the Wallies? The huge lazy people that sit in the massive command station, but they don't really move? Is that going to be the next generation? Some people, Vans, like, you can talk shit about Game of Thrones, right? And people will be like, yeah, it had some rough seasons. You talk shit about The Office, about people who love The Office. You know what's weird is I remember watching. This is like one of the only things in life that I was involved in when it started. My family and I used to come home from church on Thursdays and watch The Office. Like that was like a thing that we did. So I got to experience the first 2 seasons of The Office as they came out. Never in my life did I think that Office would turn into a cult classic like it is today. Are you serious? This is unopened. We just happen to find a LifeX bulb chilling. The sticker is not broken. The seal is not broken. Did you glue it back in here?
Obviously, I never opened it.
I don't know. Maybe you did, you fucking ninja. I can't get it out.
Merry Christmas.
Where's the other one? Because I can put these in the second part of the craft room. How dare she? Just finding random technology. You kidding me? I enjoyed The Office, but there's no way I could sit and watch that again. Dude, I can't watch even my favorite TV shows of all time. I can't just watch through it again. I've considered putting on Mr. Robot to have on like in the background while I'm working on stuff, but even then it's like every time I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put on a TV show or a movie to have on in the background while I'm working, and then as soon as I start working on something, I need to listen to like an audio or video portion, and I'm like, well, I gotta pause the video, and then it stays paused. Bunch of give it to me now ass hats are the future of this planet. You're goddamn right about that. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Jay Nagel? What's your take on all the madness? Like you talking about all the stock madness? You talking about those stonks, bro? Breaking Bad, totally rewatchable. See, I couldn't even half of the enjoyment of that, but I'm the wrong person to talk about this too, because I don't watch TV and I don't watch movies. So there's probably a lot of shows that have great rewatchability, but I'm the wrong person. I can't, man. I can't. Winnie can't even get me to watch shows that I've never seen before that I should. Like, you guys are gonna hate me for this. Stranger Things, never seen. Battlestar Galactica, never seen. Stargate, never seen. I've never finished The Office. You couldn't pay me to watch Game of Thrones. However, I do have a couple favorite TV shows. Ones that you probably wouldn't think. Ballers with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, one of my favorite shows. Mr. Robot, you could probably guess, is one of my favorite shows of all time. Yo, what's up, Geek Girl? Somebody, Cassie Joy tweeted today. I don't know if any of you guys know her. She is a YouTuber, and she's super crafty as well. And she's got a couple 3D printers. She makes OBS tutorials on YouTube. I think she's getting ready to completely like shift her content. She's getting ready to start up like a leather making studio, which has always been like super intriguing to me. Like I would love to learn how to work with leather. I'm going to become a Ron Swanson in my old age for sure. Jay Nagel, it's really hard for me to have any sort of any take at all regarding all of the GameStop and the stock shit. I mean, I do find it odd that so many people are surprised that they're pulling shady shit behind closed doors in order to keep the rich rich and the poor poor. Oh my God, they stopped trading. How could they do this? I'm like, well, it doesn't surprise me at all. But again, I'm not involved in the financial part of the world. I don't concern myself with shit like that that's out of my control. I'm sure there are so many people that are all about like real estate and investing and economics and personal finance and stocks and like shorts and longs. Here for dramatic effect. Whoosh. Can barely handle my own goddamn finances than to try and worry about the goddamn stock market. I will let the smarter people handle all that stuff. And I will help you when your computer dies. Okay? Can we just like balance these chores out? Can we balance? I was been looking at the wrong fucking camera. Can we balance these out? You know, look, we had this conversation a couple streams ago. There was a couple people in chat that all said that they had anywhere in between 5 and 10 credit cards. And what they do is they use their credit cards to pay for everything in their life. And then they just use their money to pay off the credit cards. And they constantly open up new credit cards to get the bonuses. And it's like, okay, I'm sure that you have the mental capacity to keep track of all that. But that just seems like so much extra shit and leaves such large margin for error. Like, I think Big Shoe said he had 6 credit cards. And Zook said he had 9. 9 credit cards, no debit card. Whatever boats you float, my friend. That life is not for me. To constantly, it's the same as people who are like penny pinchers, who will only ever go after something if there's a discount or a percentage off or a coupon. Like just that financial anxiety of constantly like always looking for the get. What can I get out of this? How can I chop this off? Like I always look. Oh my God, it just gets me anxious. Just thinking about that. I don't operate that way. But some people make it work to their advantage. And what the general consensus was that with credit cards, there's 3% of the population that can make them work towards their advantage. And then the other percent just get absolutely fucked because we're not taught about financial discipline in school. We're taught about the Civil War and religions in other countries. Like we spend all of, don't get me wrong, the Civil War is very fucking important, but like we spend 6 years teaching the same history of our own country over and over and over and over, and then have like an extracurricular class of sex ed one time in our high school career. Absolutely nothing about taxes, nothing about mortgages, different tax. Let's just gloss over all of that. You better take honors chemistry too. Oh, you gotta learn how to pay your taxes? Fuck off! So I'm glad that people can make that work, but that's not my life, man. That is just not for me. Give me a paycheck. I'll put the money that I have in the bank, and then I will spend the money that I have and just go from there. What are your favorite shows, Geek? What are your favorite shows to rewatch? Not only did they stop the trading, they forced and sold shares without permission. Yeah, that's super fucked up. That's some next level shit I didn't expect at all. Yeah, I technically have 3 credit cards right now. I've got a Best Buy card that does not get used. I have an Amazon card that I use often. Whenever I make Amazon purchases, I put them on the card and then I pay it off immediately. And again, that's the same mindset, you know, to gather points to use, but I can only use it on Amazon. I can't go pull out cash if I wanted to. I can't go anywhere I want and just swipe it. It's strictly for Amazon purchases, and that works out for me. What up, Weasel? How you doing, buddy? Happy Saturday. Good catch. I was about to flame you for saying teaching about the Civil War wasn't important. Yeah, sorry. That's word vomit. Word vomit. The point I was trying to make was that high school was a lot of time was wasted teaching you about shit that didn't fucking matter and preparing you for a cubicle office job or some weird trade job. Not weird trade job, but trade job. When they could have spent a lot more time giving you actual useful skills. Hello there, gents. Excuse me. What? Me and my friends are playing a game where we have a number on screen, and if you get that number correct, we will donate to you. You will get one guess, and the number is between 1 and 20. If you do get it wrong, please don't get mad, as we have had people get very mad, upset. Do you accept this challenge? No, I do not. Thank you, though. Also, I'm not a charity. You do not donate. You tip. But how about you give me $5 for wasting my time? Just kidding. Have a wonderful day. But thank you. What up, Ginja? Yo, I'm doing solid. Solid! I wonder what type of history they teach about the Civil War in the South. Right? Like, you always... I remember when I found out that the history that was taught in school was most likely catered to our country. You know? And you're like, oh, fuck. Who governs what they teach in our schools? Oh, that's right. No one. No one. Interesting. Danny, have a wonderful night. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello. Love you. Love Lace. Hope you guys are doing good. Let's chat soon. Hey, Jobby, haven't you learned already that this stream is nothing but chaos? I just touched the button on the loud LoupeDeck. So I had some fun. So what we're trying to do on stream today is take another gander at something called the LoupeDeck Live. So this is a little control console that is not unlike the Stream Deck. It has touch buttons. They are not capacitive. It has dials on the side that can be set for adjusting things as well. And then there are all these buttons that you can switch between screens and profiles. Well, I have been trying to troubleshoot an internet error or issue on my own computer. So I have an issue right now with Chromium browsers where when I try to load something, if I open up a web browser and try and open up a web page, I type it in, I hit enter, it waits 4 seconds, and then it loads the page. If I go to Google, search something, I click on the link, it waits 3 to 4 seconds and then loads. I have tried sifting through all of my extensions to make sure it's not one of them. Haven't narrowed it down yet. I've completely wiped my computer with all Chromium. I just have a lot of really stupid issues right now. I have an issue where... That's super interesting. I have a 1 to 2 second delay on when I right click on anything. So I right click on anything, wait, and then it pops up. And now I'm having the issue with internet where I click on something and it loads. Literally, I'm not even joking, 3 to 4 seconds later. And I'm just getting ready to wipe my fucking OS again, even though I did it probably not even a year ago. It's just how fucking shit Windows is at all times. I hate this operating system. Conbot, how you doing, man? I watch everything all over the place, like watching The Guild, Parks and Rec, The Office, Buffy, all sorts. I do love, Parks and Rec is just a different type of flavor. Like, there's the obvious comparison that Parks and Rec and The Office are very, very, very similar. But I definitely think that they are both their own flavor of show. And I won't say that I prefer Parks and Rec, but I would probably go watch Parks and Rec before I watch The Office again. Later, Jay Nagel. Have a good one, buddy. By the way, in case nobody noticed, I just found this shirt again. Had no idea it still existed, but it was there. What up, Bearded? The South does not teach it any other way but how it happened, where the South loses. Depending on the state, I would assume. Oh, man. Should go to Linux? Girthy, how's your Linux install doing? That's a rhetorical question because I know that you went back to Windows. Listen, Girthy. No hard feelings, right? Nothing but respect. What happened to you is literally what happens to everyone. Everyone. Anybody who says that Linux can replace Windows is just incorrect. They are just wrong. It doesn't matter how you spin it. The world climate, the technology, where our software is, where the market share is, Linux cannot replace Windows. In fact, nothing can replace Windows. The Apple ecosystem cannot replace Windows. There are parts of the world where those three technologies can coexist. One doesn't need to take over the other. It's just sad that the most used one is the biggest piece of shit. Oh, you know what? Hellhound? It was tracking my shoulder. Might be a little better now. Sorry about that. I don't know if I like having autofocus on or not, to be honest. That was fucking loud. What do you think, Jimmy? You like
Son? Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Like it so much, I'm gonna fall off my porch. Come on, Jimmy! Come on, Jimmy, go do it! Yeah! Run him, cowboy!
I have that picture saved on my my desktop. I'll tell you what though, man, even though there are only 3 games I can play on Linux, that is the only reason I left, because indeed I needed to dump 90 hours in Horizon Zero Dawn. Tried Linux only 5 to 6 years ago. It lasted a week because I literally can't do anything. I kid you not. That's always, it's always the response is, yeah, it was great until I couldn't do A or B or C or the rest of the fucking alphabet. It's because it doesn't cover all bases yet. The hardware support is there. The software support is there. It's not there. The software side is the most lacking. And like, okay, how fucking long has it been that Linux has been out? People keep saying it could replace it. Then why hasn't it? Because nobody wants to jump on fucking board because it doesn't work the same. Yo, what up, Chateau? Yeah, I think it was focusing on my arm. I wonder if I move my hand out of the way. Oh, it focuses on my hand for a second. And then it goes back. Good camera. I think that they're meant for fundamentally different tasks, like you said. Yeah. But here's the thing. All of the things that make using a computer convenient are baked into the Microsoft ecosystem. Are there alternatives to Microsoft Office and Windows Media Player and Steam? Yes, there are. But you're making massive, massive compromises in order to use it. And the technologically capable people know how to use those workarounds to do what they need to do. But you put a fucking Linux computer in front of a 50-year-old and say, hey, go pay your taxes. Go hit TurboTax. Oh wait, they have web version of TurboTax now, don't they? But that's the thing, Girthy. Okay, give somebody a Linux computer and then give them a DVD and say play it. Watch them burn. Like, you remember that scene from fucking Indiana Jones where they open the Ark and their face melts? That's what happens to people who try to play a DVD. I mean, don't get me wrong, playing a DVD on a Windows computer isn't that much better. I mean, you ask anybody to do like a normal task and they're like, oh no, Linux can do that. You just got to download this package or install this driver or do this. It's like, okay, but that's not going to help a 40, 50, 60-year-old person who's used to a Windows ecosystem. Well, if you just like train them hot. No, sorry. Who plays DVDs? A lot of people, fans. I will say that very confidently. Very, very confidently. Most dental practices will still burn your x-rays to a DVD to give them to you. It is a lot. I mean, they're starting to remove CD drives from laptops and computers, obviously. That's a huge thing already, but it hasn't left the world yet. Actually, I dropped VLC a long time ago. I've been using the Media Player Classic forever. I'm glad my video card is installed. A 1-hour project turned into a 5-hour project. Hooray. So Jimmy, does the power supply that you have, did it come with a single PCI to a single PCI power, and also come with a single on the PSU end to a dual 8-pin on the other end? I found that very odd because especially the Corsair PCUs, they usually just come with one cable that has the 1 pin on one side of the cable, or the 1 8-pin on one side of the cable, and then a dual 8-pin on the other side. It came with the single and a double. Okay, interesting. It's so weird because I had the same version CPU that you had, but just the non-M version. I think I either had like the tier up or the tier below, and I just had the single cable. So that was super, super interesting. Can Linux support the DVDs that have DVD menus, like playable DVDs? They can? Okay. Yeah, Windows has a real problem with that. It's so funny. Like nowadays, if you put in a DVD into a Windows 10 machine, it will automatically launch the Windows Store and say, hey, download an app to watch this DVD. And instead of just telling you what app would be useful, it just gives you a list of a bunch of 1 and 2 star rated apps to play the DVD. I'm glad you got a new GPU, Middle Age Stream. So here's my next question. What Linux operating system should people use at home? Exactly, Halan, and that's my point. There's no centrally managed operating system, no official support, which is people need a phone number to call. Some people do. But none of those versions matter to the end user. They only matter to the administrator. There's no functional difference between those for the home user. None of that matters to the end user, whether it's home or pro or enterprise. It's debatable. Debate it. For the average end user at home with a computer. But again, regardless, the point that I'm and Hellhound are both trying to make is that the core of the operating system, how it looks, how it operates, what things are installed by default, how things look, they are identical between those three. There are little differences on the back end that, again, don't matter to the end user at home. But when you're talking about the difference between distros, massive difference between them. There's no continuity between all of them, which is the other. It needs to be regulated. If it's gonna work for everybody, it's got to be regulated. Windows 10X? What the hell is that? Are you using some weird descriptor that nobody else uses in the world? I think you are. Windows 10X. Microsoft announced Windows 10X back in 2019 as an operating system designed for use on dual screen devices. Okay, so again, not the average end user. If you would have said like Windows 10K. So this is a specific version of, this isn't the core operating system we're talking about. We're talking about core distros, not distros that are used for special use cases. Also, this looks really dumb. What the fuck is this? 2 screens, no key. Who the fuck wants this? Oh my god. Fucking gross. Do you love the experience of touch typing on your phone? Do you want to cut your words per minute in half? Do you want to make 10 times more mistakes when you're typing? Well, do we have the solution for you? Windows X. Have to constantly stare at where you're looking, stare at where you're typing in order to type. You're gonna love the way you type. I guarantee it. See, yeah, but then again, you just brought up the problem, Girthy. There's 2 distros. Oh yeah, no, we make it for this one. It works great on this one. It doesn't work so great on this one. You move around too much. I really could just turn off. Actually, I can't turn it off from here. Oh well. Thank you. So what happens when you fucking rage too much? It's so funny because that goes to show how much of a failure that operating system is and those types of devices are. Wait, they announced it or it's released? Because if you just tried to get me with fucking something that's not even officially out, it ain't even out yet. You just lost all credibility, Chateau. Ernst, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, they announced the devices. They announced flying cars too. Back to the Future, 1991. They announced a lot of things. Remember those massive Microsoft Surface coffee tables that they came out with? Everybody's able to put their credit card down on the table and then you could fucking fling purchases across. You could flick bubbles towards each other. Remember that they announced that? I don't care if they announced builds or there's builds. We're talking about core operating systems for the average user today in 2021. I almost said 2020. You guys are pulling out semantics out of your pooper holes. They're meant for the average user. I bet Linux is meant for the average user too. But guess what? It ain't. Just kind of, I'm joshing with you a little bit. The Girthy, I've done it. I just do not have the desire to try and make something work for me instead of just having my shit work. There's absolutely no part of me that is willing to spend all of that time to try and make something work for what I need it to do, only to find out 6 months down the road, there's that one thing that doesn't really quite work as it did, and then switch back. Too old for that shit, man. I don't want to spend that time. I think that's an obvious reason why I enjoy buying Apple products. I don't want to tinker with my shit, man. My shit are my tools. My tools enable me to do my job. And they enable me to follow through with my hobbies. Linux ain't for me, man. Whether it can work for the person or not, ain't for me. When last? Years. I can't even tell you the last time that I gave up Windows to try and make Linux work. That's been way too long. But when I gave Linux like a serious shot, within the past 5 years probably. But again, there's no reason. Like there's no benefit that is going to outweigh the cons. Again, I say this all the time. If I wasn't a gamer or a streamer, I'd be on Mac OS, dude. There's absolutely nothing special about Windows 10 that's actually keeping me to the platform whatsoever. This is the year of the Linux desktop. I should search Reddit for that exact phrase and see the last time that it was posted. Oh yeah, actually it's right here. Oh, 2008. Yeah, you couldn't pay me to do that again. I'll tell you that right now. What up, Audio Geek? Your video today was good. Thanks, man. Thank you. I had a lot of fun. You know what's funny is after I watched today's YouTube video for like the 5th or 6th time, I realized it wasn't as good for the amount of hours that I put into it. Like the amount of time that I spent on it did not show in the final product to me. Like when I first watched it, I'm like, oh, this video's really good, man. I'm proud of it. And then like the 5th time, I'm like, oh God. All right, we can do better. But that's a good thing. I mean, that's just how it goes. But I remember looking at it and going like, Bro, I got a new print from the artist who did the one you have. The controller print. I just followed him on Instagram a little while ago, and he does some pretty cool stuff. I think he also does DJ live streams? I think he went live today, actually. I meant to check it out, but by the time I got there, he was already done. Mike Davis. What did you buy? Mike Davis. Yeah, he does some cool stuff. Mike Davis Fine Art. Mike Davis. I never watch my videos 5 times, maybe the same part 15 times or the whole thing twice. I never thought about watching it at double speed. I guess I feel like there's a really high chance that I would miss something that I would just gloss over. There was some weird render glitch that happened somewhere in the video, and I re-rendered it again and it glitched in the same spot again. I'm like, I don't have fucking time for this. I don't give a shit. And there's weird things like that. So talking about switching platforms, right? Perfect example. I abandoned Adobe Premiere and I jumped onto DaVinci Resolve. And while DaVinci is an amazing video editing platform, there are still just little bugs and glitches and unexplainables that happen. And because there's no longevity of the program itself, there isn't a lot of track records or history of certain bugs. And things will happen and you can Google your fucking face off and you just won't get an answer. Or you just won't find one because they're just new problems. Such as, so rendering glitches being one. You know, I've re-rendered videos 3, 4, 5 times over, and then the 6th time it renders completely fine. That's one. Number 2 is when you go into the Fusion tab, when you've selected a Fusion clip, it doesn't show you all of the assets in the Fusion timeline. That's another. A third one is when you are looking at the Export tab or the Deliver tab, if you accidentally select a different audio output, one of the other audios will disappear. Like if you try to select, I can't remember what the audio output codecs are, but I had this issue where I selected one, and then once I selected it, I couldn't go back to what the default was. And I ended up having to uninstall and reinstall DaVinci to fix that. Am I using 17? No. Nope. I thought about installing the beta and I'm like, I think I was in the middle of a project and then I put it off and then I just never updated. So that's another one. A fourth bug that I've had with Resolve is dragging the playhead all the way to the beginning and then hitting play, and then it will start like 15 seconds after and then start playing. Click it, drag it, hit play, it'll go right back to where the playhead was before and then continue playing. That's another one that I've had. And that one can be super fucking annoying. I feel like there's another big one. My render times for rendering transitions and effects is super fucking slow. And that I have yet to troubleshoot. But even when I was making that last video, if I make a transition between 2 scenes and then I shorten the length of the transition, it'll take 30 to 45 seconds to re-render that transition. It's like, oh my God. Now, again, this is my first time working with transitions and effects, so that could just be how it is. But goddamn, is it a lot slower in those aspects. Yeah, just little things like that. Again, nothing groundbreaking. Look what Winnie just found, buried in her office. Is that Vader with googly eyes? Wow. That sticker too. This thing is beefy.
Like gears of war
Yeah.
sticker on there.
selling that earlier.
It's
Yeah, so then it's probably older. 2010. So this is probably a 2010 MacBook, right? Focus. Yeah. And then iPad Pro. And the difference in the power of these two things is just absolutely fucking insane. Doesn't run at all.
no.
And you got a CD drive. Best keyboard ever made, though. Doesn't boot at all.
Probably not hard.
Dropped that a few times. MagSafe.
Nope, never dropped one.
There's a.
That- Awesome. No, I have never dropped it.
Okay, but it's been dropped.
Okay, maybe she dropped it, but she never said she.
Of course not. It's probably gotten so hot that all the adhesive is melted away. God, those are such pieces of shit. You're going to try to? I might have extras of those. I mean, you couldn't re-upload it to get reprinted? Because it's too shitty? Or just print it and cut it out yourself. Cricket it. No, the pros have USB-C, Hellhound, which has actually been amazing. And the cool thing about the...
I will eat your ass.
Sit on my face. I have been watching that long.
Come here! You sit on my face! I'll tell you, I love it.
The new case actually has an additional... No. Okay. No. This has an additional USB-C connector on the side too, so you can plug it in to charge and use other accessories, which is nice. No! How many times do I have to say no? Baby! Come here. No! Can you use this power adapter from 2010? No. You can? No. You sure? Yes. No. Yo, what up, LV? What's going on, buddy? Thank you for the resub, man. 30 months. Very much appreciated. I got some emails for your fucking ass. Beep, boop, beep, boop. There was an audio issue. Couldn't figure out how to mono a clip. Wait, there was an audio issue. Are you talking about in my video or just like in Resolve in general? Are you really not fucking focused on my face? I'm sitting there trying to get you to look at the goddamn iPad for 10 minutes. LV, how you been, man? It's good to see you. Happy Saturday. Yeah, I'll have to look, Chateau, because there's just a lot of little issues like that I've experienced so far. But one of my biggest compliments with Resolve is that I can drop a raw 4K video file into that program and just immediately start editing it and not have any lag. And I cannot do that with Premiere. And I cannot tell you how fucking frustrating that is. Absolutely fucking bonkers. Premiere is such a piece of shit, but it's still so prevalent. Yeah, Hellhound, the only device to use USB-C are the iPads right now. I don't even think the new AirPods, the AirPods Max uses USB-C. I can't remember. Which is nice because even third-party dongles work with that thing, which has been pretty cool as well. Took too long, but all right. So the first thing I want to do is I wanted to dedicate this stream to shitting on Girthy and Chateau about Linux. That has been completed. So now I want to move over to diving into the LoupeDeck a little bit more. So this is called the LoupeDeck Live. It's another edition of Align things that they have already. So they have the I keep saying loud peck. The LoupeDeck CT, which is called Control Terminal, I believe is CT. And this live has been out for a while. And I just kind of got onto it. So the first thing I want to do is look at the getting started. Oh wait, no, is it this one? Yep, they've got this video, which is kind of like an overview that I want to watch, and it is from the oh my god, LoupeDeck. Keep wanting to say loud, man. I want to see what they have to say about it, and I'm sure they won't DMCA me. Why did I do it 4K? Because I'm advertising. Let's see.
A few years ago, the original LoupeDeck was created with photographers in mind, specifically photographers who work in Lightroom. A little bit later, they released the LoupeDeck Plus, which was very similar but had updated buttons and knobs and better ergonomics. It was overall just a better built product. Last year, LoupeDeck released the LoupeDeck CT, or Creative Tool. What made this product unique was that now, because it was created with a color touchscreen and buttons and knobs, you could use it with any computer in any application. Not only could you do that, but you could go in and customize what each button does in each one of those applications. And
that is a $550 device right there, by the way. And the LoupeDeck Live is $270.
Today, LoupeDeck has announced the LoupeDeck Live. This is an even smaller unit, very similar to the LoupeDeck CT, but it is a little bit smaller and more affordable. Let's check it out.
Loud.
First of all, let me quickly talk about build quality. The build quality on the LoupeDeck Live is identical to the build quality on the LoupeDeck CT, which was fantastic. It's built out of metal. It's got these nice little rubber feet on the bottom. And the way that the buttons and knobs
just say built out of metal?
Fantastic. It really feels like
Lies.
a high-end product. I don't know the price of this yet because it's not out as I'm filming this.
$279.
But I would imagine it's not going to be the cheapest product like this on the market. But for me personally,
it's comparable to the Stream Deck build quality.
Something that's built this nice and is an actual
little bit nicer.
Let me give you a quick rundown of what the LoupeDeck Live does. I have a bunch of different applications open on my computer, and I want to be clear that I have not customized this in any way. I simply installed the LoupeDeck software.
That was the wrong answer, Dave.
And it knows what application I have open, and it simply works right out of the box. You can see here it says mouse wheel vertical, and if I start turning this knob, it will scroll the page. If I wanted to take a screenshot of a piece of the screen or a part of the screen, I could hit this button right here, and you can see draw a shape to create a screen.
The screen, like the hotkey, like the macros part of this is not that much of a, like the basic macros, right? Of copy, paste, screenshot. Those are all keystrokes that have been baked into my brain. And I already use certain software, and there's nothing worse than having to search through a Stream Deck-like device to do something quick like a screenshot or a copy paste. Like copy and paste, I do without even looking down. I know exactly where my hand needs to be on the keyboard in order to do it. Same thing with screenshotting. Fucking Windows Shift S. I don't want to have to fuck around. I mean, now that I use another program, I do something else. I do Control Shift right arrow for my screenshot. So I don't really see this as a replacement for that, because a shortcut isn't a shortcut if you have to make a change to the device that you're looking at in order to get to said shortcut. And that's kind of why I'm such a big proponent of finding the keyboard that feels right to you. Because, again, if you have to look down at your keyboard and press certain things in order to make something short, it's not really going to work. What's up, Ripoff? Always wanted advice to scroll my page. I mean, exactly, right? Like, why is that a talking point? I saw someone on Twitter that used their Stream Deck to work with sysadmin stuff, saw icons for the office and other admin panels and thought, okay, yeah, and I guess you could probably make that work. But then at the same time, like I've seen a lot of people like, oh yeah, I put all of my system resource usage monitors on my Stream Deck. I'm like, really? Kind of counterintuitive, don't you think? And then if you want to use your Stream Deck for other things, then you always have to like go back to the page where those are stored. Dude, mustache hairs keep going up into my nose and I'm dying. There's just some weird things that, yeah, it's like, but why? Kind of thing. Absolutely. And I see a lot of YouTube videos for the Stream Deck. They're like, I made my Stream Deck do this. Like, I put arrow keys on my Stream Deck. But why? Exactly, Chateau. Does Stream Deck work on Linux? I don't think so. I don't think that they have an app. Stream Deck Linux. Oh yeah, they support Linux, but one of 74 distros. How I use Stream Deck on Linux with open source tools. Okay, so no official support. By the way, you guys thought I was kidding about clicking on things and then working minutes later. Look at this. Click. 2, 3, 4. That's what I'm dealing with right now. Look, it's still not loaded. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 5. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How the fuck do you troubleshoot that? It's an application issue. I've narrowed it down to Chromium browsers, but no, I already went down DNS route. It's Chromium. As soon as I remove Microsoft Edge from my PC, it goes away. Like I can, it's a Chromium issue baked into Microsoft Edge. As soon as I remove Edge, Chrome loads fine. As soon as I restore Edge, it goes back. I've tried restoring Edge without all of my extensions. That works okay. As soon as I sign in, it's got to be an extension or a third-party application that's causing it to hang. So I just gotta find it. This is the first major issue I've had with Edge in the past year of using it. You have hardware acceleration on? I'm pretty sure I do. I'll check while this is playing.
Snip, I could do like that, and then boom, it saves it right there. Now check this out. I'm going to
But I fucking hate having to turn it off. You know what I'm saying?
click on Adobe Lightroom over here, and everything will automatically change on the LoupeDeck Live.
Yeah, I do.
So when you first open up the program, you can see it's ready for me to cull and rate the images. I can swipe along here, and it gives me more options. Or I can click on these numbers down here, and it's going to take me through different tabs within Adobe Lightroom. Again,
didn't know that.
When you first open up the program, you can see it's ready for me to cull and rate the images. I can swipe along here, and it gives me more options. Or I can click on these numbers down here, and it's going to take me through different tabs within Adobe Lightroom. Again, this is all automatic. It's already programmed in.
That's pretty, I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool.
So, for example, I can click on Develop here, and check this out. When I click on Develop, everything is going to change. Because I'm in the developing module in Lightroom, it's going to show me all of the tools I need to do that developing. Once again, I can swipe through if I want more options here. And again, if you want to get crazy and you want to customize this, you can do that as well. And you can set each one of these buttons to do whatever you want. Now, if you don't want to click over to develop and map and book and slideshow and all that, you can click on these numbers down here. So I've gone back over to library on the screen. I'm going to click number 2 here, and you can see it automatically pulls up the develop module there and changes all of my settings here as well. So here's a quick drone shot, and without using the mouse at all, I'm just going to go through and edit this really quickly. First of all, I'm just going to boost my exposure a little bit. Looks like my temperature's a little blue. Let's warm that up just a little bit.
That's already pretty cool. Sonder, maybe.
contrast.
Maybe.
Let's see if I can recover some of those highlights. I will also recover some of those shadows. Maybe I'll boost the contrast a little bit more. So as you can see, the main sliders that you're going to be using are mapped automatically to these 6 rotator knobs on the side. If I click number 4 down here, it's going to take me to my HSL panel. You can see that here. See right
found
here
your
where it says
diplomas,
tone,
Weeby?
high
Weeby?
hue. If I start
Weeby?
turning this, you can see it starts changing my highlights right there. If I click the red/orange HSL dial, it gives me HSL right here. And again, I can control each one of these, the saturation, the hue, and the luminance, all right here. So if I click the yellow and green, there's lots of yellow and green here. You can see I can turn this hue knob. I can make it fall very easily, or I can really make these trees green. Now, if I wanted to crop in, I could hit the crop tool right here, turn this knob, and it'll crop in. I can also turn this knob here to rotate. I think my horizon's perfectly straight though. And then if I wanted to apply this, I can just hit apply crop. Now, if you're looking for a LoupeDeck to exclusively work in Lightroom, I probably wouldn't suggest this. I would push you towards the LoupeDeck Plus. Everything that you need for Lightroom is right in front of you with a physical button, and it's always in the
They're all
exact same
dedicated
place.
buttons.
I
Okay.
think that's going to be a little bit faster to use than this, but if you're looking for something that you
Macros,
can use
macros,
with
macros,
any
macros.
application, this might be better for you. Check this out. If I
Boy,
click
you're
over
looking
to
lots of
Spotify
knob
here,
in
the
there,
LoupeDeck
bud.
will change again. I can start playing music. I probably shouldn't
After
because
shadow
I
on
will get
bald head
flagged by
bugs me.
YouTube. I can change the volume here. I can choose my tracks here. I can navigate through songs, and I can click it to play. I can go to random. I can continue playing the song on loop. I can like the songs or heart the songs to remember them, and then I can
That's not the real Blink-182.
mute here as well. Now, of course, this also works with Adobe Premiere as well. And for a lot of the buttons and stuff, I've memorized the shortcuts with my left hand already. But there is one feature that I really like with this, and it's the ability to color grade this when my video is full screen. Now, when I'm on my dual 27-inch monitors that are right over there, it's fine. I have plenty of screen real estate. But when I'm on the road and I'm using a laptop,
Honestly, that is a problem that I've noticed already. When trying to do video editing, even though I'm on 1440p, trying to manage the video and the timeline on one screen is rough. And then like having the video on a separate monitor, I just haven't found like my comfortable layout in Resolve yet. And it totally makes sense why I've seen certain people with setups where they have the one main monitor up here, kind of up high, and then another monitor, but super slanted right below, that I'm assuming that they just keep for a dedicated timeline working in Premiere and Resolve. So yeah, it's been one issue. I could totally see why video editors are going after those 4K or 5K displays. Massive, because then you can have a 4K video playing at full native res, still have room for a timeline, or have a 4K playhead that is downscale to 1080p, a lot of room. So that's one thing that I have noticed, because I've never, like, all of the video editing that I've done in my past has all been very, very basic. 1 to 2 video layers, 1 to 2 audio layers. And now that last video, I had 4 video layers and 4 audio layers. And that's not even touching what some of these other people on YouTube do as far as their video. So I can already see the need to be like, okay, I have time to upgrade screens. But at the same time, upgrading your screens causes so many fucking frustrations for streaming, which is why I am very, very, very in the mood for just getting a Mac for doing all of my editing. And that's why I'm looking out for whatever these next iMacs are going to be. If these next iMacs have the M2 chip, that's what I'm switching over to. Even if it's the base model, just taking the editing workload off of this computer, not only getting a 5K display, getting a bright as shit display, a color accurate display, and then just taking that workload off of my gaming PC. So that's what I'm definitely looking forward to.
I find it very difficult to see this screen over here and grab all these sliders. I always want to see it larger than this, and so I find myself kind of pushing everything out of the way. It's just a very slow process. So it's cool that you can go full screen on your laptop here, move all of the controls to the LoupeDeck Live, and then you can turn these knobs and see full screen.
I like
what
that
you're
this
doing.
guy is
Let's check
going
out
over
LoupeDeck software here.
weird little
Once again, if I
workflow
click into the
intricacies.
software, the LoupeDeck Live changes immediately. And this is where you can come in and customize everything. Now, I'm not going to do a tutorial on everything that you can do in this
Very surprised they chose a Windows operating system for this.
program. Definitely check out LoupeDeck's YouTube channel. They have incredible tutorials.
We're on the
there.
LoupeDeck YouTube
But
channel.
You can basically do whatever you want. So if you
got a
have
they got a
specific
mini
shortcuts
display port in
and
the back of that
specific
laptop.
programs that you want to show up on this, you can do it. You can go beyond that and even upload your own custom thumbnails. And let's say you are a superpower user, you can create macros as well. So let's say you want to hit one button and you want it to be able to do 5 or 10 different things. This software can do that as well. This is huge for streamers. I don't know if you guys have seen, but we also created a F-Stoppers Live YouTube channel. We're not doing video game streaming, but we're doing other live video events on that channel. And I need something like this because there's so many times where I want to switch cameras, but when I switch cameras, I might want the audio to switch as well, or I might want the lighting to switch, or I might want to hit a button and I might want text to come up and then move. I do that manually right now with the software that we have, and it is a huge pain in the butt. So if you put the time in and you can program something like this to do exactly what you want, this can be an incredibly powerful tool. So who is the LoupeDeck Live for? I like to call them power users, computer power users, people who love tinkering. They love
that what you
shaving
call them?
off
You call them
seconds,
power
and they
users?
have tons of different applications and things that they're doing
Where's
every
Linux?
single day, and they want the
Show us
fastest,
Linux!
most precise way to get work done. You know who you are, and when you see a product like this, you go, yeah, that's what I've been waiting
Yeah,
for.
fuck
I'm
editing
gonna
with
buy
one
that.
monitor.
The majority of complaints that I saw about the LoupeDeck CT were from people who I don't really think the product was made for. They were saying things like, why would I click on this when I can just use my mouse and click on it on the screen? And you're absolutely right. In some cases, it is faster just to use a mouse.
That is always the battle that manufacturers like this are going to face is, does moving the controls over to a dedicated device that takes your focus away from your main screen, is it worth it? There's some, like, again, moving your Windows screenshot to the LoupeDeck, that makes no sense when there's already a hotkey baked into the operating system for that. That doesn't make sense to me. Like having a dedicated macro for Alt F4 or Control Alt Delete. It's like, oh, hey, I can put Control Alt Delete on one button on Stream Deck. That makes no fucking sense when you can already just go and it's done. It's dedicated, it's built in, it's native. There's no reason for that. So when I see reviews for things like the Stream Deck or the LoupeDeck that say, well, why would I have a button for this? There's definite use cases where some things make sense, like the integration with Lightroom. When you go into the Develop tab and it automatically changes all of your knobs to adjusting the most common things, the brightness, the luminance, the saturation, the contrast, the highlights, the shadows, moving those to dedicated things and being able to know knob 1 is brightness, knob 2 is saturation, and adjust those without even looking. Because what's the average photo editor doing? Looking at the picture, looking at the sliders, moving mouse over to slider, clicking, dragging left and right, looking back at the picture. Oh, I forgot. I didn't even grab the slider. Let me look back, grab the slider again, move it left and right. That is where something like this would be super, super powerful, in my opinion.
But if you put the time in and you customize it to what you want and all of the tools that you use on a daily basis, using something like this could save you a ton of time. But if you're a photographer and you find yourself exclusively working in Lightroom and that's where you want to speed up your workflow, I highly suggest the LoupeDeck Plus. But if you find yourself working in other applications all the time and you want to
got a regular
streamline
display
all of
port
them, and you
on the
also
back of that
want
laptop
a much
too.
smaller, more customizable package, check out the LoupeDeck CT and this, the LoupeDeck Live.
Today we have the Microsoft Surface Pro 7 and the MacBook
Featuring Windows 10X.
Pro. The Surface comes with a pen and
That's the back of the laptop, Girthy. It's a weird looking
Why
laptop.
can't they just give me a whole touchscreen?
They just shit on the touch bar, which they very well should. Oh shit, Mark Riviere is live on Twitch.
The Surface Pro has a detachable keyboard. Now with the Mac,
No, it didn't say that, Chateau.
you're kind of just stuck with what you got. But with the Surface, yes, you can run your favorite apps on it. It has the power to run all your apps. It is a much better gaming device. I love my games. Then there's the price. Yeah.
Damn. You should re-roll that ad with the M1 MacBooks.
Good grammar and spelling are important. But if
Okay, so that was the general overview of the live. There are a few creators that have. Oh, look, Nutty's got a 20-minute video on it. I didn't even
Today we're gonna
realize.
be looking at this thing. It's called a LoupeDeck Live. It's
Nutty! Don't DMCA me, okay? I am showing my thousands of viewers how awesome of a creator you are. Look what I'm doing. I'm taking your channel. Take your channel. Okay, I'm copying it, bringing it over here to my chat, and I'm posting it 9 times. Everybody go and follow, subscribe, Patreon, OnlyFans. Nutty on OnlyFans, okay? Nutty, I'm directing my massive community over toward your channel, okay? Don't DMCA me. I just want to look at this LoupeDeck thing. Nutty on YouTube. He's also on Twitch as well. Watch this. I'll bring you there. I'll bring you there. Nutty. His name is Nutty. My name is Knackers. We're both balls. Don't DMCA me, okay? I love you. There he is. Look at it. He's got a pretty cool Twitch stream as well. To be honest. Yeah, I want to look at this thing. Oh, 2 months ago. I'm a little behind.
It's a little device that sits on your desk, and you can use it to control your live stream. So things like toggling sources.
Are you serious, Girthy? Are you serious? Balls, dude! Good grammar and spelling are important. Chateau, I actually very highly considered getting a Surface for work. And then we took over a client. They were an architecture firm. And they had about 40 employees that all had the Surface books. So the high-end, high-res laptops that were also detachable tablets. So they had a touchscreen. And when they worked, they were fucking awesome. Build quality, top-notch, detachable tablet that was dope. Had a shit ton of I/O. Were super fast, high-resolution screen. The Surface docks that came with them that are now sold separately, they supported up to 3 external displays. Awesome device. Maintenance-wise, fucking disaster. Made me hate them, and I never got one. And now I'm stuck with a shitty HP. I really want a Lenovo ThinkPad, actually, or a Yoga.
On and off in OBS, switching scenes, changing camera angles, even controlling your audio. Now, naturally,
I don't have an ad blocker on this browser.
Better than a Stream Deck. I'm like, dude, relax, okay? We're like 20 seconds into the video. Just settle down. Yeah, it's pretty similar to a Stream Deck, and it's hard not to compare the two because they look so similar. But this does things a little bit differently to a Stream Deck. I've been playing around with the LoupeDeck Live for a couple weeks now, and TLDR, I'm not going to say whether it's better than a Stream Deck, but I think for the right
Girthy, I think they were the ones.
It definitely has a lot of things going for it that make me really excited for the potential of this sort of device. So let's talk about the LoupeDeck Live. We'll see what it can do and help you decide whether this is the right streaming device for you.
I've got a P51 here with integrated
Big
NVIDIA
shout out to
graphics.
LoupeDeck for not only
P51?
sending me a
The hell
LoupeDeck
is that?
Live to have a look at, but also sponsoring this video, which is dope because I like money. If you don't know, LoupeDeck is a company that
This is why I like Nutty.
makes a lot of devices for content creators.
ThinkPad
primarily video editors and
PV1?
photo editors. But as far as I know, the LoupeDeck Live is the first device in
Why
the
aren't you
lineup
using it?
that is geared more towards live streamers. Alright, so let's get this thing opened up and see what the device actually looks like. Alright, so here's the box, which says LoupeDeck on it, which is crazy. Opening up the box, we see we have... the hell? Just a picture of Obama. Yeah, I obviously already unboxed it because I've been holding it the entire video. Have you guys even been paying attention? I already did an unboxing over in my Twitch stream, so if you're not following me on Twitch, go do that right now.
Go follow
Don't worry,
Nutty on
wait.
Twitch.
All right, you've had enough time. Anyway, here's some footage from that stream. First off, ASMR time.
You know what? I'll give him the ad revenue. We're technically stealing his content. We'll give him the ad revenue. Nutty, you son of a bitch!
You get a bunch of paperwork, which I definitely read because I know how to do that. You get the LoupeDeck Live itself, which is pretty obvious because that's why you bought this thing. You get a USB-C cable, which is great because number one, it's removable, and number two, it's a nice braided cable. I just wish it was longer because this thing is super short. You also
I totally forgot to tell you about this. I spent an hour trying to get this thing to work with my computer today. Could not for the life of me figure out why. I would plug it in, it would turn on, it would turn off. Plug it in, turn it on, it would turn off. Over and over and over again. Uninstalled, reinstalled, updated the firmware. Could not fucking get this thing to turn on. And then I went into my device manager and I noticed that, sorry, let me rewind. Yesterday, went into the control panel, was looking at my network devices because I was trying to change DNS servers, troubleshooting that internet loading issue that I was having. And then I saw a network adapter called NDIS adapter. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I disabled it. Turns out this thing uses a network adapter to communicate, which I still need to do a little bit of research on. So if you end up getting a LoupeDeck, don't disable a weird network adapter called NDIS, or else the LoupeDeck will not work. As soon as I enabled it, this thing worked again. That took me an hour to figure that out.
also get a USB-C to Type A adapter.
What up,
so
Anarchy?
you can actually connect it to a normal USB port on your PC. And last, you get this little plastic piece. This is just a stand that will prop up your LoupeDeck. First off, this thing is super compact. Like, it's a little bit bigger than its regular size Stream Deck, but smaller than the Stream Deck XL. But it's super thin, and it's really well built too. Now, the little stand that it comes with, you kind of just snap it onto the back of it. Yeah, kind of like that.
Not a
And
fan of that at all,
it's
by the way.
fine, but it only really props it up from one angle, and you can't adjust it.
I love you.
So I would rate the stand a little bit better than the Stream Deck regular, but nowhere near as good as the Stream Deck XL. All right, so
Anonymous, thank you very much for gifting a sub over to Chateau. Enjoy it, Chateau. Don't you go spending that money on fucking Linux. What up, Hookah? Is it? Oh, it is. I'm so sorry.
let's get this thing plugged in. Now, we won't talk about the software just yet. We'll get to the hardware for now. On the front, you're
I literally have his volume as loud as it can go. He must not have it leveled.
going to see a grid of 12 buttons. These aren't actually buttons. This is actually a giant touchscreen.
Buttons.
It's just
Also, hello,
separated by plastic
Hookah.
to make them look like buttons. Now, at first I was disappointed because I actually wanted some tactile feedback when I pressed the buttons, but I actually found that it wasn't that big of a deal. Number one, you don't get that weird glare like you do on a regular Stream Deck
Yes.
when the
Oh my
light catches it at a
God.
long angle. But it also has a
I
vibration
hate that about the
motor
Stream Decks.
inside of it, so you still get some haptic feedback every time you push a button. Also, because it's a touchscreen and not actually buttons, it allows you to just
Buttons.
swipe between pages. Now, we'll get into pages a bit more when we look at the software. You also get a row of 8 buttons, which you can program to do
was
different
Chateau.
things, and they're super clicky. They have a really nice feel to them.
Anarchy, $270.
But
Way
the
more.
standout feature that really differentiates this from an actual Stream Deck are the 6 dials that you have on the sides here. This is something I wanted for the longest time on an actual Stream Deck because there are some things you want to control in your stream that can't be controlled with simple digital buttons. For some things, you want analog controls so you can do some fine-tune adjustments. An obvious example of this would be for things like audio. You've got 6 dials here, so you can kind of use it like a tiny little mixer to adjust like your game audio, your microphone, Discord audio. So it's kind of like a Stream Deck and a Go XLR. like made a tiny little baby, you know? Is that how baby making works? All of these dials also click in, so if you want to just click in to like mute your microphone,
Oh!
you could do. In addition to that, you also use vertical touch strips on the sides, which just show information about what the dials do, but also you can double tap on the strip if you don't want to click into the buttons, and you can also swipe between pages on the dials if for some reason 6 dials isn't enough for you. So like the Stream Deck, the LoupeDeck comes with its own software that you need to install so that you can set up all of the buttons and all of the dials. And this is what the software looks like. Now, if you've already used a Stream Deck before, you're gonna have to do a little unlearning because this program works a little bit different.
Yes.
Rather than starting from an empty grid, it comes pre-populated with a bunch of profiles, and each of these profiles is tied to different applications. Now, obviously, you can change what each of these buttons do. It's just that it comes with its own set of profiles to get you started. You can see a list of supported applications by clicking on application, and then you can see things like Premiere Pro, Photoshop, Lightroom, and you can even install profiles for things like DaVinci Resolve if you use Resolve for editing like I do. But what you probably care most about is the support for OBS Studio and Streamlabs OBS. Hooray, Streamlabs. Here's where it's a little bit different to an actual Stream Deck. You can see here I've got the default profile, which is like the Windows profile, but as soon as I bring OBS Studio into focus, it switches to a different profile. So this is kind of annoying because normally when you're streaming, you're not always gonna have OBS Studio in focus.
True.
So the solution to that is there's a little lock button here, and when you unlock it, now I can switch to different programs and it keeps on this OBS profile. So not a big deal, it's just something that you need to get used to. Now, while you can use the LoupeDeck to edit videos and photos, in fact, this video right now I edited using the LoupeDeck. I'm not an expert on video editing. Also, my channel is primarily focused on streaming. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description box down below to a video that looks at the LoupeDeck from the perspective of someone who edits videos. So, because we're all about streaming, let's switch over to the OBS Studio profile.
I'm adding these other applications as I'm watching this.
LoupeDeck, and if you click on the grid, this is where you can add and edit each of the 12 buttons. But if 12 buttons isn't enough for you, then you can click Add New Page to add as many pages as you want, and then you can swipe between them just by swiping.
One of my main gripes about the Stream Deck is having to switch between pages and never knowing like how deep you are in a folder. Now, I don't think the LoupeDeck actually shows you how deep you are. I wish that there was a way to see that. I definitely like the idea of swiping in between pages instead of one of the buttons being dedicated to going back a folder. That's always bugged me about the Stream Deck. So I guess that's one pro that the LoupeDeck has right now.
On the touchscreen with your finger. And then in the same way, you can click on the dials to program what each of the dials do. Same thing, it also has a plus page button, so you can add infinite pages to add as many dials as you want. And if you click on the
there are a lot of different applications that are currently tied into the LoupeDeck right now. A shit ton. I was the most concerned with DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci? Where are you? Hello? 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 Where the fuck is... Oh, there it is. DaVinci. Where's the
round buttons? There we go. You can program what each of the round buttons do, but these round buttons are special because no matter what page you're on, these buttons do the same thing every time. On the right, you have your workspaces, and a workspace is pretty much like a page, except it includes both the grid and your dials. So if you switch to any one of these pre-made workspaces, you can see that the grid is changing as well as the dials. But the main thing that matters is the actions on the left here. And this is what you can actually use to program each of the buttons and each of the dials. So for example, if I expand OBS Studio actions, you can see all the different things that you can do with OBS Studio. If you go to streaming commands, you can toggle streaming and recording on and off. If for example, I wanted to create a button for like changing scenes in OBS, then I can go into the scenes dropdown And here you can see a list of all my OBS Studio scenes. Which
Oh, so it pulls those
I
automatically.
have a lot of. But if you see this list, it matches exactly my OBS Studio setup here. So I have all of my scenes here. But let's just say I wanted to switch scenes to like my desktop scene. Then all I'd have to do is go into the software, drag a desktop button or action over to one of the buttons. And then now if you go back to OBS and I press this button, it changes scenes for me. And similarly, if I wanted to create a button to like toggle a source on and off, then I just find that source in my list here. So under my desktop, let's just say I want to toggle my camera on and off. I drag a camera over, and then now if I go back to OBS Studio,
But here's my
camera,
problem.
you can see it toggles on and off. There are more actions as well.
The PC that I edit my videos with is different than the PC that I used to stream with. So for me personally, I'm not going to be able to go back and forth in between video editing software and streaming. You know, I'm going to have to pick one. And that's kind of why right now I have 2 stream decks that go into my streaming PC, 1 stream deck that goes into my gaming PC. It's one of the downsides of having those 2 roles separated to 2 different PCs. Not the end of the world, but sometimes makes you buy twice the amount of hardware.
Like for Windows, so if you want to have a button that like, I don't know, like opens up Windows Explorer, then you can do that as well.
Or Windows key E.
But you can also add some Twitch actions, so you can do things like creating a clip, creating a marker, even showing your view count, which for me is 0. But you also have moderation tools, so if you go in chat, you can do things like enabling slow mode, emote only mode, subscriber only mode, or you can even send a chat message, so you just type in whatever message you want here, and when you press that button, it sends that to your Twitch chat. By the way, any of these actions here can also be applied to any of the round buttons. So if I wanted to have one of these round buttons like run an ad, then I just drag over run commercial onto say button 7, and then button 7 here says run commercial, and I can just spam that like 50 times so I can make so much like ad revenue of like out of everyone in my stream, because that's really what I want. Okay, boring. This is all stuff that you can do on a regular stream deck. Show me what you can't do on a regular stream deck. Let me show you. If I go under OBS Studio adjustments, this is where I can choose what each of the dials do. So if I wanted to create a dial for adjusting my microphone's audio, then all I do is I go to wherever my microphone is. So for me, it's my Go XLR, and I can just drag it over to one of the dials here. Then now, if I go over to OBS Studio and then just start turning this dial here, you can see that it's adjusting the audio of my microphone on the fly, but then I can click on the button and it mutes my microphone, or if I wanted to, I can just double tap on the touch strip and it does the same thing. So that's awesome. What's even better is if you follow my voice meter tutorial, you can separate all your audio for your microphone, your game, your music, Discord. You can separate all that into separate audio tracks, and then you can assign each of those tracks to a separate dial on the LoupeDeck. So if, for example, like
there's another good reason to do it.
With some friends, if you have friends, I don't, but if you have friends, you can create a separate dial to adjust just your Discord audio without affecting your game audio, and you can adjust it in one of the dials so you don't have to click in OBS. So those are all the main functions of the LoupeDeck.
But that's only adjusting the audio for the output. That's my only issue with that. That doesn't really help. And that's kind of where the Go XLR comes in, right? Because you're adjusting the audio for what you're monitoring and for what's going out. Yeah, it's great that you can adjust those on the fly, but how often are you actually going to do that? And my argument would be not that often. I'm always very, how do I say this? I always question streamers that want such granular control at their fingertips with audio. As somebody who went down the road of wanting absolute control over all audio, all right here, right? Yes, there's probably some certain use cases for it, but for the most part, you shouldn't be adjusting audio shit while you're live. Audio should be a thing that's just done and ready to go. It's the last thing that you should have to worry about. The leveling should be done beforehand. So people that always want Voice Meter Banana to separate out all their audio sources so that they can control audio levels at all time, It's like that stuff doesn't change. It shouldn't change often, I guess is my argument. That stuff should be staying the same. Your mic audio level should always be the same. That shouldn't ever fluctuate. Now, if your friends in Discord are too loud, yeah, you can go in and, you can change just the Discord audio. But again, those are things that I just never have to adjust. The amount of times that somebody in chat that's like, Discord's way too loud, because Discord is always the same volume. So I'm always a little skeptical when I hear stuff like that, but I guess it's good to have as an option.
Now I want to move over to the one feature of the LoupeDeck that I think has the potential.
Anarchy, you could do it with the Stream Deck, but the main draw of the LoupeDeck is that there are knobs, which you get much more granular control, and those knobs are dedicated to specific applications within the app. So I don't know if you can adjust audio. I don't know if you can adjust audio of individual channels with the Stream Deck. I think you can only mute certain things. But again, I don't get that granular with my audios. What's up, Ember? We're good. We're chilling. Doing some research on a new piece of hardware that I got my hands on. Seeing if it's a viable option for me
To
or
make
Sonder.
it even better than an actual Stream Deck. And trust me, nobody else who's making LoupeDeck videos on YouTube is going to talk about this. This is such a me thing to talk about. But I think if you've been watching my YouTube channel for a long time, I think you guys are going to agree with me. And that feature is custom actions. Now, a custom action is basically the same thing as a multi-action on a Stream Deck, but I think it has the potential to be just a little bit better, but in a big way. If you go over to custom actions here,
I don't think Nutty uses a LoupeDeck on his day-to-day.
Custom action, and then you can just add different things here. So you can add an action here. So let's just say I want to add something that toggles my camera on and off. So I'm going to add my camera here. And we're going to add another action here to, let's just say, turn the background on and off. Then we're just going to take our multi-action, drag it over any of the buttons. And then now if I go into OBS Studio and I press that multi-action button, you can see that it toggles my camera on and off as well as the background at exactly the same time. There is no delay between actions inside of a multi-action on a LoupeDeck, and that doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you've ever used a Stream Deck and you've tried multi-actions before, you know that between every single action, there is a tiny little bit of delay and there's no way to turn it off. That may not sound like a big deal, but for someone like me, that's a massive deal, because some of the macros that I have for my stream, like for example, my instant replay feature, those rely on multi-actions, and if you have delays between every single action, it completely breaks the effect and you just can't do it. This is why in that instant replay video,
what up, Tom?
I didn't recommend a Stream Deck, because you just had that delay and it was impossible to get rid of it. But you don't have that at all in a LoupeDeck, and that's awesome. By the way, if you did want to add a delay for whatever reason, there is an option for adding a delay. You just go in here, you add a delay, you type in whatever you want, like 500 milliseconds, you press the plus sign, and then you can add a delay if you wanted to. So you do have that option still. Now, note that I did say it has the potential to be better than a Stream Deck, not that it definitively is better than a Stream Deck, and that's because it's missing a few features. We're going to start off with the big feature that's missing, filter support. Now, granted, a Stream Deck doesn't support filters either, which is crazy to me. I mean, I know you can install OBS tools, but that's buggy and it doesn't work properly. I have talked about it in a previous video. But one of the features that I wish the LoupeDeck had is support for toggling filters on and off. Like, for example, let's just say I had a filter to make my camera blurry. I would love to be able to touch a button on my LoupeDeck to turn that filter on and off. Or, and this would be mind-blowing to me, that I don't think they're gonna add this, but just I'm putting this thought out there just in case they want to. It would be amazing if I could assign that blur filter to one of the dials so that when I turn the dial, it changes the intensity of that blur filter. I just think that would be amazing. I just don't know if they're gonna add that in there. But at the very least, I think LoupeDeck should add filter support so that you can do complicated things like that rewind macro that I talked about in that other video. If there's one feature they need to add, they can add filter support. I think the LoupeDeck can really pull itself away from a Stream Deck for a lot of people. Other features that I think the LoupeDeck is missing, keep in mind, like the software for the LoupeDeck is very new and they're going to be adding more features as time goes on. But you can add custom images for each of the buttons. You can add it for custom actions, but not for any of the other regular buttons. Now they did tell me
got some
that
catching
they
up to
are
do.
gonna add that in a future update. Just know that right now it can't do that. And while you can't have a custom icon for custom actions, you can actually assign it to GIFs. So if you want to have like an animated GIF for any of the buttons, you can't do that at the moment.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
know if they're gonna add that in, but that would be cool. It's also lacking a lot of integration for a lot of other platforms. Like at the moment, it only supports Spotify and Twitch integration, but it doesn't have any sort of integration like for YouTube or for Facebook streaming or for Discord. So I'd like to see them add that in. I also noticed that the dials didn't have any information in it. So for example, if I change the volume of my Discord audio, or if I press to mute it, it can actually show the volume on the dial, which I was expecting it to. So I'd like to see them add that in. Also, I found that the list under the OBS actions was pretty messy. Like for example, it lists every single scene and every single source in the list here, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal for most people because like I have a lot of scenes and a lot of sources, but if they ever added like filter support, then there'd be like another level and every single one of these sources here would also have filters.
Yeah, that would get messy really quick.
I can imagine this being very, very messy. What I think would have made more sense is over on the left here, you should just have basic things like change scene or toggle source on and off. And then you can drag that action over to one of the buttons. Then you can like right click on one of the buttons and then change what that scene actually is. At the moment, there's no right click on any of the buttons. So I think it'd be really cool if you just right click on a button so you can just like quickly change things. Like you can right click on a change scene button and then you can change what that scene is for that button. And then finally, I swear this was my—
Yeah, there's a lot of UI and UX things wrong with their software. And I tried to not look at it as a Stream Deck competitor. Like I just tried using it as a brand new person who pulled it out of the box. And there's just a lot of UX stuff that is not good. That could definitely use some help.
my last complaint. It sounds like I got a lot of complaints, but like this is a feature I just really like to see added. In the custom actions menu, I like how multi-actions work, but I wish they had like a multi-action switch like they have on a Stream Deck. Like for example, on my camera, the only option I have is to toggle my camera on and off. I can't like set the state of my camera to enabled, and if it's already enabled, don't disable it. Just make sure it's enabled. But yeah, those are the features I'd like to see added. There's probably more that I'm forgetting, but if there's one feature
Buttons.
that they must add,
Buttons.
please add filter support, because this is the one feature that I think could really set the LoupeDeck apart.
Leave him alone
From the Stream Deck. That's right, yeah, I'm talking directly at you, LoupeDeck. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, don't look away. So,
I can't remember if he's Australian. I think he's from Australia. But he doesn't have the Australian accent. But there's still little inflections. Sonder, I don't know yet. There are a lot of things that I have realized now that are super, super cool. But is it $300 cool? Like, am I willing to spend this amount of money? What I need to see is because I am more concerned about this as a productivity device rather than a live tool device. I think that the LoupeDeck they're trying to appeal to streamers. It's like how the Go XLR said that it's a great device for dual PCs. Like, no, it can work for dual PCs, but it is not the ideal device for dual PC setups, in my opinion. The LoupeDeck, I think, is trying to cater to streamers with certain features. Like, again, like being able to tie audio sources to a LoupeDeck makes absolutely no sense to me. For live things, for production, for editing on the other side, maybe. Yeah, I watched, even though I don't care about Voicemeeter at all, I watched his Voicemeeter video just to see what was up, and he did a really, really good job with it. As an editor, you love it, but as a Stream Deck user, you aren't. Yeah, like I'm not going to be using this in addition to my Stream Decks. But my Stream Decks are for OBS scenes, sources, pop-up sound effects, that type of thing. The LoupeDeck is going to be a productivity tool, definitely.
Conclusion, what do I think about the LoupeDeck? I think it's a really compelling...
And again, having the gaming PC and the streaming PC separate and only being able to have the LoupeDeck hooked up to one creates extra conflict.
Device, and I'd love to see where the software is like 6 months from now. As it is right now, I think it's a pretty solid alternative to the Stream Deck if you also want to adjust your audio on the fly, because the dials are pretty clutch. It's easily the best feature of this thing. If you're one of those crazy people that have like 4 different control decks on your desk already,
Why you gotta call me out like that, nuts? Nutty, you nutty shit!
and you want to add another Stream Deck to the mix, I think the LoupeDeck would be
I love
perfect
you.
for you because it fills in a lot of the gaps that the Stream Deck has. But hey, that's just me. Guys, let me know what you think. Did you guys like the LoupeDeck? Are you gonna stick with your regular Stream Deck? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you have more questions about the LoupeDeck, make sure to jump in my Twitch stream. I'm always doing just chatting and doing Q&A, and you guys can ask me all your streaming questions there. Or you can join the Discord. We got a huge community of streamers who are always asking questions, and there's people way smarter than me in there. With that said, I gotta go. I got a ton of editing to do before I go to sleep, so I'll see you guys next week. There's nothing in here. I just thought it would look really slick if I ended the video like that. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week.
Word. All right, let's look at LoupeDeck Live. DaVinci Resolve. Who the fuck is texting me? Mom! We got the LoupeDeck CT in DaVinci Resolve. For live streaming and creative apps. LoupeDeck. LoupeDeck. Oh, the introduction video. I wanted to watch this one too. Definitely don't see it as a Stream Deck replacement. I think it is definitely a supplementary device. Sorry. Sean Kitching. Is he using DaVinci?
I could just start adjusting.
No, I was using Premiere.
To make this footage.
Okay. So no videos on LoupeDeck.
My name is Shimon, I'm a filmmaker and also DaVinci Resolve trainer. Today I'd like to say a few words about LoupeDeck and more specifically about the LoupeDeck CT. That is this little console for post-production. Until now, LoupeDeck has worked mainly with
2.0
Adobe
speed.
applications. However, for some time now, LoupeDeck CT also works with DaVinci Resolve. So this is what I want to talk about, how to configure it for Resolve, and thus using LoupeDeck with DaVinci Resolve even makes sense. So let's see how it works. We are on the LoupeDeck website. The first steps is to download the software.
Oh. Color grading, chat. I am going to have to learn so much about color grading. Like if I want to get serious about becoming a decent video editor, that is one thing that I know absolutely nothing about. I have a decent handle on audio to where I can make things listenable. But when it comes to how things look with color grading, with pre-recorded footage, I have literally everything to learn. And look at color grading crash course for beginners in 2020.
To install the console. Custom profiles allow you to create your own profiles for any Blackmagic keyboard. But honestly, with the limitations of not having access to the API, at the moment, LoupeDeck cannot really compete with any Blackmagic panel. Where I then can watch the clip in the preview window by hitting Enter key on LoupeDeck. I can fast forward, rewind, and of course, I can import it into the timeline. Just like the media page, I can do all these operations just using LoupeDeck CT. I've set the shortcut and where I have clips that I'm going to use, and key number 3 to go to media pool folders where I have to the timeline. I go to my media pool now. I open a clip preview by hitting enter return on LoupeDeck. Again, I can watch it, fast forward, rewind by turning the big wheel.
Yeah, I don't really know if I would do that.
I'm going to set an out point. When I hit key number 1, I will switch to timeline window.
But again, setting in and out is I and O on the keyboard. I wouldn't really replace that. What up, Floof?
Browse and add contents to
I gotta pee really quick. I've had to pee for a while, but I just haven't wanted to stand up. All right, give me 90 seconds. I will BRB. Good to see you, Floof. Welcome in. Episode of it. What's up, Winter? Not yet. Man, I just wish that there was like something that I could put
On my pickle. Like, I can just sit here. We can do the streaming thing, watching videos. Can something suck the pee-pee out of me so I don't have to go anywhere ever? Yeah, you know what? You can bypass me. Bypass the pickle. Put a tube into my stomach. Suck the urine out of my body. And then I never have to pee again. Then you can suck my poop too. Suck it here and shoot it out this window onto the street. Shoot my shit onto the street. That would be amazing. Streamer dream. LoupeDeck? How about the poop deck? Put a pool tube into your stomach and shoot your shit onto the street. Onto the cars. Oh, the parents and the dogs walking by. Shit on the kids. Shit on the kids. Shit on the kids.
the timeline using the basic insert function. I can work with in-out markers, and I constantly switch between the source, timeline, media pool windows, working just with the LoupeDeck. I can also zoom in and out the timeline.
Also, Winter, it's good to see you. Welcome in. Yo, what up, Code? What's going on, dude?
The next clip. I can add clips not only at the beginning or end of my edit, but also between shots using the various import commands available in Resolve. In my preview window, I choose a part of it by setting in and out points.
What's that for, Floof? Why'd you get that?
I use the and pen
So the
turning the wheel. It is much more precise than working with the mouse alone. This is how it works with the mouse and turning the wheel. It is much more precise than working with the mouse alone. This is how it works in basic mode, but when I switch to trim mode and turn the wheel again, the remaining clips on the timeline will also move along with the clip. Nothing will be overwritten or clips separated on the timeline. Now I can play this.
Yo, I definitely need to take like a DaVinci crash course
again. I
for
can
the whole
zoom
thing.
the timeline in and switch back the big wheel to navigate the timeline. So now I can smooth out these speed transitions. To do it,
Poop Mark. Yo, yeah, Code, we had a friend, Sonder, he bought this and then he just sent it to me. He's like, hey, test this out and let me know how it is. So here we are, just kind of like looking up videos on it, figuring out what it can do, what it shouldn't do.
Time curve panel. I have this on my touch screen with these chains now.
Ooh, that was smooth. All right. So not really a great video for this in particular. I want to see what this guy has to say about it.
I'm Caldo, and I've been a professional esports commentator and streamer for nearly 20 years now. Hey guys, I'm Caldo, and I've been a professional esports commentator and streamer for nearly 20 years now. I'm Caldo, and I've been a professional esports commentator and streamer for nearly 20 years now. Streamer for nearly 20 years now. 20 years now. 20 years now. 20 years now. And today I'm going to introduce you to the LoupeDeck Live, which is the new power tool for streamers and content creators. The LoupeDeck Live is the little brother of the LoupeDeck CT, and if you're familiar with the LoupeDeck CT, we'll feel right at home with this device. It uses the same structure and logic, but where the LoupeDeck CT is focused on helping you to enhance your workflows in all kinds of content creation.
You guys notice how many bald people we've watched today? Join the club, Nutty.
Software. The LoupeDeck Live is much more heavily focused on trying to help you to improve your live stream experience and also push your live stream production to the next level. It supports all the software that you're already familiar with through live streaming, as for example Twitch, Streamlabs, and OBS Studio, but also has support for software as Spotify and also Adobe Creative Software. The core element of the LoupeDeck Live is the touchscreen. The touchscreen features 12 buttons, but you can also increase the number of buttons by simply adding.
Yeah, this is made by the company, Sonder.
Through quite easily through the touchpad. You can assign any program, any tool, any kind of action to one of those buttons that you might want to use during your live stream. And it's absolutely incredible to have physical dials for all that functionality, where usually you would have to use software on your Live Unique. In addition to all that functionality, you also can just group all of these actions into workspaces that are reflected through the round that you need a lot during your streaming and put them on one of those round buttons, which makes it an incredibly versatile device. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the software that powers the entire device. So as you can see over here, I'm currently in my Streamlabs profile. And over to the top right, you see all the applications that offer native support to the LoupeDeck Live, which means that through the API, these softwares offer you specific actions that you can map onto the device itself. But of course, you also can create customized action and you can create macros, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But let's focus on the Streamlabs options, at least for now. So we're starting all of this up with our round buttons that I mentioned earlier in the video, where we have now 4 workspaces that we created, and we have, in addition to that, also a couple of actions that we mapped right onto those buttons. Actions that you need a lot when you're live streaming, like running a commercial, for example, or creating a clip. You can customize not only the round buttons, the same is also
yeah, I've actually got it loaded up in a tab right here.
So we have middle pages already set up on our first workspace, on the stream workspace.
The macro master, Terran himself.
That whatever way we want, we can add an additional page, can show a graphic, seconds in our case, pretty easy. And then we want here on your LoupeDeck. But as you can already see here, this is a pretty sophisticated tool that would allow you to create a lot of big macros that make your streaming just so much easier.
It's so weird that they felt the need to put a floating Shure SM7B in the frame, like we didn't know this was for live streamers. Like the guy is obviously wearing a lav mic, and it's just fucking sitting there, pointed at his fucking forehead. Like the dude who's like making the scene, like, all right, dude, we're like black on black on black on black, fucking nice ass Rolex. We're gonna get him some nice BenQ monitors. We're not gonna cable manage shit. We need a super, super high quality camera. The new Logitech Stream Cam. Fucking throw it on there. All right, what else? What else do we need? Oh, Shure SM7B, the biggest, baddest microphone of them all. Where are we gonna put it? Just put it in the air. Point it at his forehead. It's totally fine. We don't got to worry about this. Lighting, blues, purples, knackers colors. Let's fucking go. We got some Sennheiser 280 HDs on the desk. Fucking Corsair keyboard. Straight at the head. Right in his head.
And you can customize all of this to your heart's content.
I'm trying not to be a dick, but it's just funny. It's just it's just you notice things after a while.
And so it's an incredibly powerful.
Yeah, what the hell? Black, bald, beautiful. Where's the fucking beard? LEDs, RGBs, pinks and blues. Hire me. Hire me. I'm brand safe, pussies.
That allows you
to
adjust the LoupeDeck Live to your individual needs during streams. So when we take a closer look at the LoupeDeck Live,
I will eat your ass.
Yo, thanks for the resub, Block. Code Block! I got some emotes for your ass. Chat, you got to see the emotes for this dude's ass? Do you? Yo, Dreadnoughty, what up, homie? It's good to see you. Code, thanks for the 26th month resub. Always fucking good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, the mic is $400. 400. It's the new SM. The S in SM7B stands for shotgun, but it's also the SFM7B. Shotgun forehead. Yeah, where are the titties on the wall? Also, this camera is currently shooting at 19 frames per second.
you can see here that I have on my first workspace just a couple of basic functionalities for Twitch already set up. I can start my stream, I can record the stream, I have my desktop audio mapped onto one of the dials, I got my microphone right here, and even my Spotify where I can just browse through the tracks real quickly.
With everything I said, having this would be a cool way to get some audio control into your setup without having to spend all the money on the Go XLR. Could you get the Go XLR Mini and get a little bit of functionality? Yes, but if you wanted something that could do both, this could be a good option. You know, for the people that want control over Discord or over Spotify or what have you, having that baked in is kind of neat. But this thing is still $270.
But if I go into the second page, there's already a lot of scenes predefined that I can simply jump through them. I have my starting scene. I can go straight into also my camera scene. And it also allows me to use the studio mode. So in case that I want to prepare the next scene, I can simply enable that, can prepare the next scene, and then push it live just a second later. So there's a lot of functionality to be used here that you will be familiar with if you're a regular streamer. But there's obviously more to it. If you just look at another workspace, you can see a lot of Twitch chat functionality reflected, where I can go into a subscriber mode. I can use some predefined messages to push
which
on
is
the chat,
still super limited right now.
Down. So there's a lot of tools where you can set up the entire tool to your personal preferences. What's really cool about the LoupeDeck is that it's not only extremely powerful when we're talking about live streaming, but if you record your videos and you're going into post-production, you want to upload some content onto YouTube, for example, you can use it for Premiere and other tools as well. And this is also another region or another area where it really shines. As you can see on my home screen here, I can easily go into your cutting options. You have a zoom dial, and we could, for example, then also fine-tune the selection a little bit, running 5 frames or running just simply 1 frame. So all the tools that you can possibly want just at your disposal right away. You don't have to go through any hotkeys here. And then later with the color grading, it's a pretty similar process too. So now once again, you have just dials that correspond to the tools within the software itself. And it's absolutely amazing to have hardware dials that you can use to just fine-tune everything. So the LoupeDeck is an insanely powerful tool in live streaming, in post-editing and creative software. And it really shines just in simple workspace structure and just creating a bit of a different workflow that makes your life so much easier when you're trying to do all of these things. So as you can see, the LoupeDeck Live is an insanely versatile tool that you can customize to your heart's content. There's so much you can do with it on the live streaming side of the equation, but if you want to do a bit more post-production, if you want to upload some video, if you want to go into Photoshop, it will really make your workflow so much easier amount of time and just in general be a huge asset to your production levels. With that said, if you guys want to have a few more information about the tool, if you want to look at a couple of additional guides, you can jump to the LoupeDeck website and have a look over there. Thank you very much for watching the video today. I'm going to see you next time.
He does the same thing that I do when I'm recording videos, and I do extended blinks when I'm looking at the camera sometimes. Just like one of those weird tics that happens when you're recording videos. Even for somebody like me who's like recorded so many fucking videos of myself, it's still pretty difficult to do sometimes. That's for sure. I don't want to watch a lot of this because they will for sure DMCA my ass.
Quite excited for this one.
Actually, I don't want to watch any of it. But if there's anybody who's going to give something a run for its money, oh, he's going over the CT. He's not even going over the live. And that's a lot of, oh my Lord.
That's so much of a better approach. You know, it's all beauty and very little brains. Like this thing.
That's the other issue that you run into. Like what he just showed before, a dedicated device to a certain task is going to be huge. But, oh my God, look at this. The Ultimate Macro Pad 3 years ago. I'm actually surprised it only has 1 million views. No, DMCA is where you get a formal written notice to basically cease and desist. Basically, hey, you stole content from us and used it in your own content. Remove it, or we're going to sue your ass. So like a DMCA is what a record company gives you if they find you. Well, they issue the DMCA to Twitch, but it's what a record company would issue when you have content that is theirs that you have not licensed, and they are taking that shit down.
Let's have a look at the right on the right side. Or you can simply
So there's a couple YouTube videos out here that I'll check out later because I don't want to spend all the time watching other creators' content. That is not the content that I'm striving for. The couple intro videos regarding the LoupeDeck are enough. Nutty's video was fantastic. Again, if you guys enjoy like OBS tutorials, tips, tricks, technology for live streaming, Nutty is a fantastic resource, both on YouTube and on Twitch. He live streams 3 times a week, and he uploads, I think, like every other week. So if you guys enjoyed that video, make sure to check out Nutty on YouTube. Super, super cool creator. I like that guy a lot. Let's see. LoupeDeck, live in CT, customizing touch buttons.
To start customizing your touch buttons, click on the touchscreen element from the main device view or from the right navigation panel to enter a more detailed view. Find the action you need by browsing through the folders or searching for it and drag it to the interface.
I don't think they're hardcore about
Move
it,
them around freely or
but I'm not about to test them.
Outside the customizable area. From this view, you can also create or edit touch pages and move them around.
Short and sweet, my friend. Interesting. Okay. I wonder if actually, I don't think even Alpha Gaming did a video on this. I know they hardcore focus on the streaming side of stuff, not so much the editing side. Who knows where the fuck Alpha's going to be in a year? I know that they're really taking a step back on the YouTube stuff to focus on other things. I mean, rightly so. Main view, daily use, applications. Let's delete this. Delete this. Round buttons, applications. That did nothing. Left Windows. Okay, so 5 is space. The button 5 is space. Space. Okay. 6 is delete. That's a little weird. And 7 is back. An unexpected issue occurred. Please close and reopen. Oh. All right. I don't think Sam's covered it either. Again, he's really shifted. Oh, wait. Oh, no, this is different.
I hate it. I hate it. So bad. No. Oh, I love it.
What the fuck?
Might post it later.
Whoa. DaVinci Resolve Speed Editor. It's actually a product by DaVinci?
This is the new speed editor from Blackmagic Design. It's a small, lightweight keyboard. Everything you need.
Interesting.
Speed editor. Well, that's it and done. Let's dive in. Connected in one of 2 ways.
Cool. I'll have to check that out later. Oh my god, he uses a magic mouse. What a psychopath. Device connected. Here we are. Okay, so I don't think that it liked that I deleted something. Workspaces. We have applications, which is what I'm looking at right now. Active applications, add new page. So this is Windows. Let's just open up OBS Studio. I don't really have much on my gaming PC OBS. I really only use it for desktop capture and remuxing things from MKV to MP4. Yo, what up, Godzilla? Yo, how the fuck did you get that username? You got that username in 2017? That's insane to me. That's absolutely insane. What up, Game Over? Hiya, Mickey. The Magic Mouse is an Apple mouse. That's terrible. At least I think. Gee, I could see the LoupeDeck switching in between profiles as I was opening and closing applications. Activate Spotify Premium CPU. Oh, okay, so this was the... what I use for OBS, okay. Yeah, I don't remember making any of these. Trash. Trash. So we could go into OBS Studio Actions, streaming commands, studio mode. That didn't do anything. Mouse scroll wheel vertical. Okay, that didn't do anything either. Dude, oh, I love the Magic Trackpad. It's so good. I'll tell you what, man. Once I got the Magic Keyboard case for the iPad Pro, having a trackpad on iPad OS changed the fucking game. Changed the game. And their trackpads are pretty fucking sick too. And as soon as I get my iMac, absolutely going to be getting a Magic Trackpad for it. Really wish they would redesign the charging system. I agree. I wonder if they'll ever do wireless charging for that sort of thing. Simon, what up? The LoupeDeck as I see it right now is 60% a productivity tool at 40% streaming tool. It has a lot of the same features that the Stream Deck has as far as OBS integration, Spotify integration, But they also heavily focus on the post-production part of content creation, the video editing, the photo editing. They have direct integration with Photoshop, Lightroom, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere, to where this is sort of like a smart device or like an adaptive device, to where when I launch OBS, all of the controls switch to OBS, and then if I go into Lightroom, all of the controls switch over to Lightroom. It's super fucking cool in that aspect, to be honest. Okay, so workspaces. Profile. Oh, here we go. OBS Studio. Here we go. Okay. So that's the okay. So profile, OBS Studio, touchscreen pages, main. See, this is my other issue UX wise. I'm clicking on these and there's nothing to show that I'm selected on it. That bothers me. There's very, very little notification when you're clicking on certain things. And that's kind of exists throughout the entire software. A lot of the times I would tap on something with the LoupeDeck, even though it was lit up or it had something assigned, there was nothing to signify that there was actual interaction happening. That's kind of one of my biggest gripes at the moment. So touchscreen pages, lock profile, clock, CPU. Well, the CPU doesn't seem like that's correct, does it? Oh, I guess, well, OBS is using 0% CPU. That makes sense. Alt-Tab. Interesting. So if I hit Alt-Tab on the LoupeDeck, it shows me a list of the applications that I currently have open. So if I was to tab Pretzel, it went over to Pretzel. But now there's no other apps that exist. And now that Pretzel is the focus, I can't switch back. I can't Alt-Tab back. So that's weird. Play pause. There's a heart for something. Oh, followers, chat emotes. Okay. Emotes? No. Options? No. This is probably live. Start the stream. Toggle streamer mode. Oh, that's probably for chat. Media track, media stop. Okay. OBS Studio, touchscreen pages, main. See how there's, yeah, see, I hate that. Because I don't know. This says stream, touchscreen pages, main. But it shows you that you're on main up here, but that doesn't help me because I'm not, my eyes don't naturally go to, you're not looking at what I'm looking. Over here. Shut up! Over here, I'm clicked on stream, and this is how I navigate between things. There needs to be an indicator that this is what I'm looking at. I shouldn't have to click here, look to see where I'm at, and then observe. That's an extra step that's unnecessary. Encoder page. So volume level. That's general level. Am I not in? Yeah, OBS Studio. Stream Studio. Oh, Studio. Touchscreen pages. Stream Studio Home. I guess these are just different built-in workspaces. Yeah, this is weird. Dial pages. Scroll wheel vertical. Okay, so I'm technically... Wait, OBS Studio. Stream. Okay, OBS Studio. Encoder page. So back. So main view. Yeah, this works weird. It's a little odd because on the Stream Deck software, depending on what your screen you're looking at, what you see in the software is what you see on the Stream Deck. This does not work in the same way. you can make changes to other things outside of the page that you're on, which could be a pro or a con, depending how you're looking at it. What up, Salty? So like right now, I'm making changes to the OBS Studio profile, but because I don't have OBS Studio in the foreground, it's not matching what is being shown on my LoupeDeck. So that's something that really, really confused me at first because I wasn't used to that. So I don't necessarily want to dog LoupeDeck for that, but still a little weird. So within a profile, let's just delete. Can we just delete this? Yes. Let's give it a main. So we have main profile, OBS Studio profile. Does that signify default maybe? So under the stream workspace, assign as home workspace. Okay. On touchscreen. Lock profile, don't need that. Oh, actually, can I undo? Fuck, there's no undo. Studio mode. That just straight up doesn't work. All right, let's try running it not as admin and see what happens. Still nothing. What? You just opened up my clock? Alarm clock? That was weird. Why is a clock a button on the OBS Studio profile? That's odd. We're just going to delete you right now. CPU usage, bleh. Alt tab, bleh. I don't know why those are under that. Bleh, 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 bleh. Oh, you have to drag it right to it? Okay. Toggle streaming. So CPU is CPU usage? It is. Okay. So this is weird. OBS Studio actions, streaming commands. That's all there is? Or am I missing something? OBS Studio adjustments. Scene transitions. Okay. Custom actions? Lock profile. I mean, basic stuff. Sources turning on and off. Scenes on and off, switching to scenes. I'm not seeing any of that. Like all the basic shit that's in Stream Decks. Stream Deck, hello? Oh, you're already open. Sorry. Yeah. Recording. Stream source scene. Unless transition, is that what? I wonder if I forgot to add something.
This is my world.
This is Mia. She's new to Shaker.
Hi, Mia. I make tough calls all the time.
Today we're going to be looking at this thing. It's called the creates this from an actual stream to you can set up all of the buttons profile. Photos and the round buttons, you can program what each of the round buttons grid stop scene. Then list here.
He had a part of yeah.
Let's just say I want to toggle my camera on and off. I drag a camera over, and then now if I go back to OBS Studio, it changes scenes for matches exactly list of all my.
Yeah, he's got scene collections, profile scenes. I don't see any of that. LoupeDeck. What is a LoupeDeck? What the? Somebody tell me what the fuck a LoupeDeck is.
OBS Studio scenes, which I have a lot of. But if you see this list, it matches exactly my OBS Studio setup here. So I have all of my scenes here. But let's just say I wanted to switch scenes to like my desktop scene. Then all I'd have to do is go into the software, drag it.
OBS Studio Actions, OBS Studio Actions.
It also has a plus. If you click on buttons or on the right, you have your workspaces, and a workspace is pretty much like a page, except it includes both the grid and your dials. So if you switch to any one of these pre-made workspaces, you can see that the grid is changing as well as the dials. But the main thing that matters is the actions on the left here. And this is what you can actually use to program each of the buttons and each of the dials. So for example, if I expand OBS Studio Actions, you can see all the different...
Yeah. Am I not missing all of those? OBS Studio... Yeah, what the fuck? I'm missing a whole lot. Interesting. Finally taking a break to chill for a bit. Ripped out my laundry room today. Got the old stuff out. Fixed all the drywall, painted. Got another coat of paint to do it tonight with floors. Putting in new washer and dryer tomorrow. Nice. Did you go all out and get some crazy Wi-Fi enabled laundry things that detect when a child is inside? Or did you just buy some basic shit? Yo, what up, Gadrew? What's going on, dude? LoupeDeck poop deck, you know? Okay, so I'm just straight up missing something. Let's see. LoupeDeck. LoupeDeck OBS link. Let's see. LoupeDeck. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, LoupeDeck. I am so fucking sorry. OBS Studio setup.
To set up your LoupeDeck Live, go to the LoupeDeck deactivated OBS. Open OBS to it via the WebSocket. Download and install the plugin from the link in the description of this video.
There it is. WebSocket. I knew I was fucking missing something. Where are you? OBS Studio. Download that. Yith open. Premiere. Ableton. Okay. If you like making love at midnight. Or the Tom DeLonge version. If you like making love at midnight. And getting caught in the rain. Is this download gonna take years or what? I hate you so much, Firefox. You know that? You fucking know that? What up, Middle Age Stream? It's a smorgasbord. It's a smorgasbord of shit going on right now. I better close OBS. It has Stream Deck features. It has productivity features. It's got macro board features. It has post-production shit. It's definitely not a Stream Deck replacement. Could be used with Stream Deck, that's for sure. What up, Kami? How you doing, buddy? Good morning. Seemingly nothing. Yeah, it does a fucking lot, middle-aged stream. It's one of those things where, like, you know how you can buy a multi-tool? And the multi-tool comes with, like, a wine bottle opener and a bottle opener and a nail file, right? It's like, okay, cool, yeah, this thing can do 20 things, but I also now have this thing that does 20 things. You know? So it's definitely, it's reaching, in my opinion, it's reaching a little bit, trying to grasp at the live streamer market, and it does some things well, and it brings some cool features like a Stream Deck plus knobs would be pretty fucking dope. And that's kind of what this is. It's missing on the functionality side a wee bit, like just a wee bit. Did the installer run? Am I fucking crazy? Brain fart, dude. Massive brain fart. Hey, there it is. We out here, fam. We out here. Streaming commands, scene collections, console gaming. Oh, okay. So you have scene and profile switching just like you do with Stream Deck. So that's cool. Okay. Scenes, desktop recording, podcast, camera. All right. So activate. What's that do? Activate LoupeDeck. Let's go over to scenes, desktop recording, podcast. God, those are terrible icons. The design of this is bad. That's very bad. Gray outline. The most contrasty black ever. Smaller circular icon within that. Purple, another shade of purple. Bright red folder behind it, and then this text. I don't think that this application is optimized for 1440p or 4K, though. That's a really bad design. That could use some help before. Designer who did that, I'm sorry. You were probably working 7 days a week, 80 hours, and they were like, dude, fucking put something together. And you might have went to Stream Deck's icon creator website to make that. I'm sorry, that could use some work. So desktop recording, podcast, and we also have our camera, which isn't going to work right now. So if we're on OBS, God damn it, I'm on the Windows application. Switch me to the okay. Desktop. Podcast, camera. Phone over here, go desktop, podcast, camera. Cool. So again, I am not getting any haptic feedback when I'm tapping these. I only get haptic feedback when I double tap them. I don't get any vibration when I tap them a single time. I don't know if that's a bug or not. Are companies focusing too much on what they want to sell rather than what the user might want to do? I think that there is a massive disconnect in between the people that develop these products and the end user. Again, I think we are just nonstop always given these products that miss the mark because they don't care to actually do the research and figure out what people want. Or they think that they're smarter than all of us and know what we want, right? They're just going to go with a fucking Stalin approach and just give us whatever they think is best. I also think, this is an also I think, I've heard this, streaming market is really fucking tiny compared to other markets. There's a reason why there aren't companies chomping at the bit to develop products from scratch for streamers. It's because we are a fraction of the audio video production market. So to put all of those resources into products, it makes sense as to why there's a little hesitation. We are getting to the point where companies are starting to develop streamer products, right? Stream Deck, very much aimed at streamers. And then they started adding on other functionality with other softwares to kind of tie in other people. I guarantee there are people that don't care about streaming that use Stream Decks for absolutely everything else. You know, they tied it together with their hardware line. You got the capture cards, you got the lights. Very, very smart. Then you got people like GoXLR designing this product for streamers. Also works for other people as well. This new company, Beacon, that is going to be coming out with a audio-centric device that might have some video things tied into it. That should be coming out in the next couple of years as well. Same deal. People are starting to get there. And then you have pussies like Logitech. Not pussies. You got people like Logitech who will take the same regurgitated hardware and software, release something called the Stream Cam, and call it a camera for streamers. That too, Sonder. That too. Yep. So there's a lot to consider when it comes to shit like this, that's for sure. And there's obvious reasons as to why we are here. I mean, it's crazy that we're in 2021, right? And people are still buying USB webcams from Logitech because there isn't much there. Like, that technology has not budged at all. Are there other options now? Yes. They still haven't taken over. The new AverMedia, I think it's the 315 high definition camera. It's okay. Huddle Cam's got a couple cameras that streamers can use. It's okay. There's still a massive gap in between USB cameras and mirrorless cameras. And you know, the price of older models has really come down. Like, you can get a Sony a5100 with a kit lens and a capture card for probably around $500, but still, it's $500 instead of us just having a solid 1080p 60 USB based webcam. Just still doesn't exist because they all act the same because they're all based on UVC. Anarchy, I mean, I agree. Especially if you're a gaming streamer where your camera is this tiny. Now, obviously, when I'm sitting here, full screen cam, you guys are seeing actually, you guys are seeing a 936p stream at the moment. So if you guys go into the video stats player, you should see a 936p scaled output resolution. So my base canvas is 1080, and you can obviously tell a difference between this camera and a USB camera. But however, I spend a lot of time, the majority of the time, on this scene with a full screen camera. So it makes sense to spend a little bit more money. But if you're a gaming streamer and your camera's this fucking tiny, and it's this tiny when people are watching on their cell phones, is it a wise investment to spend that amount of money? No, not really. But the cameras, they're fine. They're fine for streamers. I was more speaking to the lack of the technological advancements that have been made in cameras. We've just kind of been in the same place for 10 years. And there's a couple companies out there that have made strides. Sub2R obviously out there making USB-based cameras, but they've just proven how really difficult it can be to enter that market for the price point. It's difficult. That too, Floof. And then you got to worry about, hey, we designed this amazing thing. All right, cool. How do we mass produce it? How do we market it? And then that's when things that's when things really get slimmed down. What's up, Cruz? How you doing, man? Good to see you. You know, hopefully we'll get to the point where somebody can pick up like a Sony a5100 and a cam link and a lens for $300. And I'll be like, absolutely, that's a great investment. Because we are going to get to the point where a certain quality, the lower qualities aren't accepted anymore, right? Like, I guarantee everybody in here who is an avid content watcher has gone in to watch a video and been like, holy fuck, I can't see anything. I'm out. It's gonna get to that point for video. We're eventually going to hit the spot where 480p isn't just gonna cut it if you're trying to stream Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. Why you want to stream that game in the first place? I don't fucking know. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Yo, what's up, Beerblot? Good morning. Vans, you've been here, right? You're not just getting here. Vans, are you trying to shit on more kids tonight? Are you trying to shit on children or what? Word. Okay. I probably will too. I told myself I was going to get some work done today. But I might just, what I might do after the stream ends, which is going to be pretty soon here. I'll probably go through COD clips, delete the shitties, and get them organized and get it ready to edit. And then I'll be ready to play some video games. Mass Cruz, how you been, dude? By the way, I very much appreciate you guys coming through, hanging out today. I would like to make this type of content more of a routine for me, because I could definitely do this shit all day, right? Sitting here, talking about tech, looking at other things, comparing, discovering what's new. Like, I love this stuff. I just don't know how often I can make it without getting stale, but I really, really enjoy streams like this. And I very much appreciate you all hanging out and being dope. Beerblot, I'm good, dude. I'm very good. Had a good week. Work was pretty solid. Got a lot of sleep. Winnie and I finally got like the house cleaned up. Like as a whole, like the house is in an okay shape. I need all of you to be honest with me. On a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being no room is ever dirty, and 0 being like a tornado just rolled through your house. How clean do you keep your house at all times? And if your living room and dining room are a 0, but your bedroom is a 10, you got to average that out to be like a 5. On average, how clean do you keep your entire house knowing that people aren't going to be around? That's what I want to know from all of you. And be honest. Because we're probably, I would say on average, our house hangs around a 3 or a 4. And then every once in a while, we'll get it up to about an 8. I don't think we ever get it like the entire house super fucking clean, spotless, right? I would say we lean to the side of dirty on average. It's because it's so much. And of course, now with COVID, and when you know nobody's coming over, who the fuck's gonna clean? Also, I understand that the way that we have our house right now, so we have 1 bedroom, 2 offices, 1 living room, and then a craft room and a kitchen and a super tiny laundry room. So there's no dining room. The living room is completely stacked with furniture, and there's just not a lot of free space. So when things hit the ground, or like when we eat one meal, our dining room table is a coffee table. So you get one meal's trash worth of trash on a coffee table, covers the entire thing. So you can think like if you have 2 meals, shit's dirty. I don't know where the fuck I was going with that, but we got the house cleaned up. I got the 3D printer. It is set up and it is printing. We've printed a couple things so far. We've got Piggy and Doggy, and they actually are very, very good prints. I am very, very surprised. Weenie has the lucky cat, and she is currently painting that. The office is pretty much done. I have no more physical upgrades to make. Only virtual upgrades. fucking nasty. Absolutely gross. Looks good. Have to clear coat it. And then new YouTube video went up this week. Stoked about that. Very proud of it. So things are good. Probably gonna play some more video games tonight and do some editing and shit tomorrow. Then tomorrow's a new week. I have a couple YouTube videos that just popped up for me recently. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. That I would like to get out. So I think I'm gonna do a small break from the room tour project, record a couple YouTube videos for OBS, and then be on my merry way. Got a couple hoarders in the house, -15. 4. Okay. Dude, yeah, house cleaning is... Upkeeping a house is a fucking lot, that's for sure. Kitchen is outright nasty. All the surfaces that matter are clean, though. Oh, you got a Prusa? Oh, you're looking to get a Prusa. Okay. Prusas are fucking dope, man. Prusas are dope. Oh, -200. All right. Okay, good. So I'm glad to know we're not the only one that are just like, house. Like, I'll never leave the house dirty if people are coming over. People are coming over. We're cleaning the entire thing. But just on average, it's like, this is not one of the things that I care a lot about, right? Like, everybody has certain things that they care a lot about. And keeping an absolutely spotless house or a clean house is just something that isn't on the forefront of my mind. I work, dude. I am a productivity monster. I am constantly working. Things are always dirty because I'm always working. A dirty workspace is a happy workspace for me. All right, people. It has been about 3 hours of LoupeDeckness. Got to go through it. I'm probably not going to keep it. I am interested in the productivity side of it, but I haven't been really editing enough videos to make a $300 investment, right? Like, I've gotten by with my keyboard so far. Do I feel the need to spend $300 on another Stream Deck for my gaming PC? Not really. It's a cool device. I definitely could see a future in it. I would like to see the software integration come forth a little bit more before those $300 become like worth it dollars. But I think it's a cool product. Definitely not leaning towards the live side as much as I thought it was going to be. But you know, that's how it goes. That's how it goes with these types of things. They have to pander to one side. Well, I don't know if pander is the right word. You know, what am I trying to say? They got to feed into one of the sides. Make one of them more happy than the others. Cater! Thank you! Not pander. What up, Nikki? I was just ending stream. Cater indeed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's, you know, when you've got a product like that, and again, the multi-tool reference. You've either got a tool that can do a couple things well, or you've got a multi-tool that can do 20 different things, but it's 4 times as wide as a regular tool, and it just doesn't do as many things well. And that's kind of it can be a bad thing in my opinion. When it comes to stuff like this, I would like to see, I know that they called it the LoupeDeck Live, but I really feel like they just threw the live portion on the end there to cater to the live streamers. I just don't know if it's actually that good of a fit, you know? Nikki, I thought I saw you go live. Did you go live earlier today? I thought I did. Oh, is Mark Roublier on still? Damn it. I think he only does like hour streams or something. Son of a bitch. More Super Mario? Awesome. Good, good. I hope you had a good time. All right, people, I got to get out of here. Again, thank you for stopping into the impromptu stream. absolutely enjoyed spending the last 3 hours just talking about technology, checking out the LoupeDeck. Again, I'm probably not going to keep it. Doesn't seem like a wise investment right now. I would much rather spend $300 on training courses for DaVinci Resolve, you know, or some texture or preset packs, just something to feed back into my skill set rather than just investing in another tool that's going to give me some additional shortcuts. It doesn't seem like a wise investment for me. So we'll see what happens. All right, I got a boogie. Again, thank you for coming through, being awesome. Y'all are fucking dope. Yo, good to see you too, Nikki. Have a fantastic evening. We are going to be raiding another channel. If you guys want to stick around to raid, I would greatly appreciate that. Hey, if you want to follow up on any of the social networks, most active on Twitter and Instagram, Knackers with 3 A's on both of those. And then, of course, we've got the YouTube channels. We've got the new and improved Knackers YouTube channel that is dedicated to technology, tech tutorials, and projects. We had a new YouTube video that just went up today. It is part 1 of my office revamp. So if you guys like doing project tours, seeing, you know, how people's setups are put together, the video is called Ripping It All Apart, aka Goodbye Old Setup Revamp Part 1. And it's about a 10-minute video that kind of goes through it all. If you guys are into that sort of thing, that's YouTube channel number 1. Of course, we have the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast that will be returning next Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I currently do not have a podcast planned for tomorrow night. I was gonna try and do like a quick impromptu one, but it ended up falling through, so we'll just be back next week. And then of course I'll be streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you want to hop into the Discord, if you love talking about technology, if you love helping people tech support or tech troubleshoot their shit, if you love cooking and sharing your food, those are all things that we really like getting into. Obviously discussing technology in general, sharing Twitch and tech related news and discussions, all things that go on in Discord that we're all very privy to and enjoy very much. So again, thank you guys for coming by. We are going to raid who is this? I don't remember following this person. Maybe it'll click for me as soon as I see who they are. Oh, he is the audio engineer that I followed from, his link was posted on Livestream Fails as kind of like a weird joke thing, and then it kind of blew up, which was funny. Hey, it looks like Wally's playing some Call of Duty Cold War. Let's give him some love. Oh no, did I close my chat? I think I fucking did. I'm an idiot. I do that all the time. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Thank you. I love you, and I'll see you soon, okay?
Like, why do you keep recording him? He's gonna be late for work. It's that baby face of
Bro, that is too funny.
that baby's. Oh my god, it was